everybody, what is going on? And welcome to the first, not even the first live chat. This is the first of the first for NyynewsTV. My goodness, I got to do something real quick, guys. I don't know. I got to do something. I'm going to take the stupid hat off my head. It's New Year's. Happy New Year's, everybody. But guess what? We got stuff to do. We got business to handle. NyynewsTV is here. What is going on, everybody? We got Arby. We got Francis. We got Chris in the house from the great NyynewST podcast. We did have Sheffield was going to join us, guys, but he couldn't. He had a little late scratch there, so not able to have Chef in here. But we got just about everybody. Fellas, how you guys doing?
What's up? Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to you, too.
It's
Welcome
a good day
to
to
the
kick
team.
it off. Good day to kick it off, man.
Welcome to the team, bro. We're excited to have you here.
That's it.
This is nice, man. Happy New Year to everybody.
Oh, Francis, don't start with this is nice, man.
My bad. This is nice. Let me stop.
This is nice.
My bad. But Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, obviously, to the team, RB, Chris, Pete. Happy New Year. But to the fans, man, we missed you guys. Happy New Year. I see the chat is going up with all the Happy New Years. So just want to sign out, say that to you guys.
Yeah.
How's
man.
everyone's Christmas? Everyone celebrate Christmas here or what?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. Had a good one.
I got to say, I had probably the best round of holidays in a long time, if not ever.
That's
Thanksgiving right into Christmas and New Year's was pretty good.
My weight gain has been pretty epic. I can tell you that much.
Yours?
I think all of ours.
Hold on. I went a full year of losing 100 pounds,
Damn.
saw nobody because of COVID,
Right.
and then I put it all back before anyone saw me again. So I was like, everyone looks at me, they're like, dude, you need to lose weight. I'm like, you should have saw me 6 months ago.
Right.
I looked pretty good.
Damn.
But
man.
you just missed it. You missed it.
Oh, Chris, by the way, you got the Peloton, right?
I have the Peloton.
There you
My wife
go.
actually used it today.
I'm trying to tell Francis, man, let's get the Peloton. He's like, I think I'm getting it.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I'll warn you right off the bat.
We have nothing to do with Peloton, by the way. We ain't got
we are
nothing to
not
do with
affiliated
Peloton.
with
We are
Peloton.
not affiliated.
Listen.
Not yet.
Not
you better
yet.
Get a
Not
cushion.
yet. Not yet.
You better
Soon.
get a cushion.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Better get a
that
cushion
that
for
ass
your
seat
ass.
ain't no joke. That ass seat is
Let
no joke.
me tell you something. I walked around for about 3 weeks. I used it for 15 minutes. I didn't even do the full 20. I couldn't even do it.
Right.
I walked around for 3 weeks. I couldn't even walk straight. So it's like you need the cushion, you need something. I know, Pete, you upgraded your seat.
Yeah, I got the upgrade
But it's
going.
wild, man. And
I
the
got
one
the
dude,
upgrade.
one dude that I know, he does he's into biking, and he
Right.
said the seats are just that hard. He's like, bro, it's just like lifting weights, man. After a week or so, you don't even feel it. I'm like, bro, I've never really lifted weights, so
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it'll start feeling a little better, but it's never nice. It's never a
It's
nice
bad.
feeling.
Maybe that's part of it, though. Maybe that's part of the you got to just hurt.
That's
You
the
gotta hurt a
intro,
little.
man. That's just to beat yourself up. You got to
But
get through it.
I got to be honest with you though. I got VR, got the Oculus.
Oh, you
if
got
you
the
do a little-
the Oculus.
If you do a little virtual boxing, people
Oh,
think
Gosh, it's probably fun as hell.
my wife almost had to call the ambulance because I couldn't breathe. She thought I was going to go into cardiac arrest. I couldn't breathe after 20 minutes.
Oh,
To
my.
do exercise using the
Wild.
Oculus.
Do a little ping pong on there. That's it.
I actually heard that shit's actually really good.
It's wild. It's wild.
That's crazy. The good old Oculus. I
Sounds
gotta.
like fun.
I might have to look into that.
Also not affiliated with Oculus.
Yeah. We're not affiliated with none of these things. We promise you. We
Not yet,
promise
but
you.
in 2023 is going to be a bunch of affiliations. Watch.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's going to be a lot of things
Talk
going
to
on
us.
for us.
Hey,
man, so.
hey, Peloton. Come talk to us.
Yeah,
Hey,
you know
let's
who
have
we
a-
are. You know
sit
who we
down,
are
let's have a
now.
talk,
Don't worry
let's have a
about
talk. We got some ideas for that seat.
it. we can make us got some suggestions for you to get it going. We
tell
do
you.
we have a super chat quickly, so I got to get to Jesus King Chavez here, who says Happy New Year's and late Merry Christmas to everyone and our host NY News team. Let's go Yankees, baby. No doubt about it, man. And if you guys don't mind, real quickly, I always do something called the little roll call. So let me get into this roll call real quick. All right, we got Chris in here. Another Chris is in the house. We got L.I. Yankee King in here. A regular one, Fritz. Got good old Fritzy in here. We got Lori in here. Brad. We got Michael Jackson. Ee-hee. We got Tyler. We got Enzo. We got Joshua. Lynn, Brad, Matthew, Primetime, Jay. Got Primetime in the Hall of Highlights. Richie Martinez. Is that Yo Joe? Like the G.I. Joes. Yo Joe. We have Fritz again. I said Fritz already. Offside 2009. David Luden. My good friend Luden kicking it with Roy. Ra. Families up in here. We got Ra up in here. Richie Martinez. Wyatt. And, everybody else. Us. We got us in here, too. So, guys, man, I tell you what. I am pumped. Me and friends, if you guys don't know, we recorded the show already today. That's going to air tomorrow. So, of course, you guys know Designated Spit is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. You don't want to miss that. Followed by what just popped up on the screen right there, the NYYST podcast, Monday at 7 o'clock. We got an amazing schedule to kick off this week for everybody that we are really excited about. But then we also got, some baseball news out there. We're still in the lockout. We're still in this time of crazy baseball, and some of the topics that me and Francis covered that are going to be covered tomorrow, I definitely want to get some of your guys' opinions on it. We talked about this a little bit, so just jumping into this whole Buster-only conversation about Matt Chapman potentially playing shortstop for the Yankees. Chris, I got to get your opinion on this because me and Francis already talked about it. We talked about it a little bit before we went live. What's your opinion of this whole idea?
And I wasn't here for the talk, so I don't know where you guys stand on it. I'll say this. I'll start by saying this. Adding Matt Chapman to your lineup isn't going to be a bad thing. I just don't see how him playing shortstop makes any sense. I mean,
we're all on the same page then.
But because it's not like there's no shortstops out there. It's not like there's no friggin', it's not like you don't have Carlos Correa sitting out there.
Right.
So what's your logic behind it? What, to get a sweeter deal? Was the rumor that it would accompany, what's his face? I can't.
Olsen. I don't think it was that. I think it was just according to Only, it was they discussed the idea of trading for him to be a stopgap shortstop. And what me and Francis kind of said when we talked about it was, isn't this more the same shit that we seen last year though? Of putting guys in positions they shouldn't be at. And Francis made a good point. Look, if you want to go get Matt Chapman, leave him at third base and let him focus on his offense.
Look,
Exactly.
we all love Gio Urshela, right?
Yeah,
we all love Gio Urshela. We all love Gio Urshela. But if you're going to really go get Matt Chapman, put him at third. Put him at third base. Yeah. And if you're going to keep Urshela, keep him as depth. He's a great guy to have off the bench. And we know that he can plug in at shortstop too.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? If the Yankees had no other options, then I'd say, okay, let's get creative. There's no need to get creative. This team tries to get creative like they have to. They don't.
Exactly.
Chris, they're trying not to spend money.
It's a joke. It is a joke.
For all that, they should have never had traded Tyler Wade.
Yeah.
If they want to stop that, they never had traded Tyler Wade.
Just throw him out there because who cares at that point? It's
exactly.
Like it goes back to the game when they had Garcia start for like 2 pitches. And
oh God, please don't.
Right? It's like you go back right to that game, and it's like this team's trying to get creative and trying to get cute when they don't. They're the fucking Yankees, man. You're the Yankees.
Yep.
You don't have to get creative because Kevin Cash has to get creative.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there.
That's the problem.
That's exactly it.
He tries to outmanage instead of manage his team.
Yep.
This is a team that you don't have to outmanage. You just have to manage. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's like the front office does the same thing. You see the philosophy trickle right down. And it's like now they're trying to get creative. Why? You have Carlos Correa out there. You honestly, like, it just blows my mind. It never fails with this team. It's like after this disappointing year, you thought finally we're going to just see it all break down and say, screw it. We need to go balls to the wall. And it's like the opposite.
Yeah.
Unless these rumors are all, smoke. Who knows?
I think it's smoke, to be honest. I think it's all
could
smoke.
be.
I don't think the Chapman thing to me just doesn't make no sense at all. It makes no sense to me at all.
For third, yes.
For third,
But
yeah,
not
of
for
course.
short.
For his actual
Not for
position,
short.
yeah. But let's stop being assholes here and understand that his position is third base. And one of the things that I actually uncovered, sit back, everybody, I actually looked into some analytics. Be careful. Be careful. Remember, hey, look, here's the shirt. FIP U. Got the FIP U tee on. But no, I looked at it. And one of the main things that you see, right, is that these players are being told, start hitting the ball more in the air. Matt Chapman is a prime example. These numbers are crazy. I don't got him in front of me right now, but we just went over them on the podcast. His fly ball rate is up about 15% higher than years before, and his hard hit rate has went down drastically.
Yeah.
What does that tell
Yeah.
you? He's looking to uppercut the ball and put the ball. He's popping up. He's not making the same contact he used to make because these guys want to all become home run hitters. They don't just want to be who they are. They want to add homers, bat low, because nobody gives a poot about that anymore.
Yeah.
And they pop 30-plus homers a year, and they feel they're the greatest player in the league.
Well-
But like Francis said, if you're going to get the guy, let him play third base. Let him focus on his offense and be who he is.
I was never a hitter, right? But like growing up, I was taught by some really good guys. I went to Pro Player Academy. Again, no affiliation. But they were pro guys, and they would teach me, like, come down on the ball. Keep your hands in, down on the ball. And now, if you go watch a training session with young kids, everything's about lifting the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's all
That's
about
like the
it.
complete opposite. It's the
It's
complete
literally
opposite.
it's literally a 180 from what we were taught coming up.
It's crazy.
Literally,
and-
like I was taught level swing.
Yep,
Level
always.
swing.
Yep. That's it.
Okay,
Always right down, hands through the
keep
ball.
Keep your hands in, hands through the ball, level swing. Minimal head movement.
That's it.
Balance, stay on your back foot. Like, but now,
Down the
It's
drain
like-
now.
yeah, like I was. Listen, my son is just starting his career out, and just listening to some of the things like he
It's
was told
crazy.
initially, I'm just like, yeah, you got to unlearn all of that. Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're not doing that.
I had
Like,
the same
we're-
experience, Francis. Same exact thing.
we are working on, we're going to do this from the grassroots. Like first we're working on your bat to ball skills, like this whole pop-up thing, like off the tee. We're not doing that. Like I'm sorry,
And
we're not
it's-
doing it. Like,
It's tough because you want your kids to like be able to learn from other people
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
like, have other coaches. Like my son wants me to continue to coach his t-ball team, and like, yeah, I will because I love doing it. But at some point you're gonna have a different coach, and I want you to learn. But I said I'll always be your coach at home. Like
Yeah,
if you're
right,
being
right.
taught something, whatever, I want you to learn. I want you to just listen and respect your coach. But I'll work you out at home if
All these
Something's
kids
off.
that are learning the new rules of baseball, uppercut, they're all not gonna make it far.
No. And it's like
the thing is that by the
They're not gonna
time they get up, think about it. My son's 5 now, right? You're talking about, you got 13 years before like things really are serious at that level. 13 years from now, the game is gonna correct itself, because that's what the beautiful thing about
Exactly, yeah.
baseball is that baseball always corrects itself.
Yep.
Like it goes in cycles, but eventually like it weeds out the BS. And this whole thing about, the launch angle, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. I get it. And I'm sure the analytics people will run me out of the room telling me, no, this is the future of the game or whatever. But I went over it.
They will.
I went over it in our last episode before the end of 2021. And you just go through it. Just go through the past 5 World Series champions and look at the managers and look at how they manage and look at the teams that they put together and things like that. It's not all that analytic garble that these analytics people are saying it is. It's like, yes, these are people who believe that analytics can 100% help your team, but these are also managers who believe in like feel and managing with your gut and like making, and not saying they don't make mistakes, because they make mistakes, but like just looking at the track record of the past few winners, eventually teams are going to begin to wake up. You're already starting to see it with the return of the old school manager, which I don't like the term old school, but
Me either.
let's say traditional. You're already starting to see it with the return of the traditional managers. Look at La Russa got the job last year. Buck just got hired by the Mets.
You're going to see him more.
And look at what La Russa did. I mean, he turned a team that's probably a couple years away from doing what they did and being really competitive and being a serious team.
Yeah.
That's because you got a good manager, man.
Well, what it is too, Ozzie Guillen Jr. actually told us a lot about that. He said when Renteria was the manager, this team was wild. They were a group of young, wild guys, and that energy didn't go on the field. And the team knew they had to get somebody that would make sure that the energy is utilized on the field, not anywhere else. And they said that's what La Russa controls the clubhouse. He don't play. And that's why that team saw great improvement, because all that energy went there. On the field, and that's what you need more of. And I think you're going to see guys like Bochy come back. I really believe that. I think you're going to see some of these guys, start entering the game again. And it's a good
look
He
at
was
this.
my guy. He was
Look
my
at
guy.
look at what San Diego did. A lot of people are going to play that move a little under the radar, but put it like this: San Diego created a managerial opening, probably one of the best landing spots. If you ask me, probably the most attractive that was available. I mean, I know the Mets job was semi-attractive and the Yankees job was open, but most in the industry knew that Boone would be back anyway. So the Padres had to be the most attractive destination for a manager. and the Padres immediately went and said, "We want Melvin."
Yeah.
There were tons.
Great manager. Let me tell you
tons
something.
of
Melvin
analytical
is so
guys.
underrated.
Melvin
is a great manager. He did a lot of good things with an average baseball team.
Yeah.
And I got to say this, LI Yankee King put this in the chat a few minutes ago, but it's worth touching on. For the Yankees being such an analytically driven team, he said something to the effect of, leave it to the Yankees to get Matt Chapman here to play shortstop. Like a phenomenal third baseman. Leave it to them to bring him here and put him at short. And it's like you go through it and it's like, okay, Gio Urshela, great third baseman, right? Ended up being our shortstop last year.
Mm-hmm.
Torres was doing just fine at second. And it's like, maybe we'll move him to short. And it's like, oh, DJ LeMahieu, multi-gold glove winner, second baseman.
Base.
Move him to third. Let's move him to first. Maybe he could play a little outfield one day. Who knows? Andujar sucks at third. Well, let's try him in the outfield. And it's like, what are we? What is this? This isn't a championship team. Doesn't go into a season.
They don't.
Maybe our third baseman could play outfield.
They don't do that.
That doesn't happen. That's not what happens.
And it's one of the hardest things to explain about this club, but it's also the most frustrating because when you hear news like this, that's the first thing me and Francis both said. We said, "Whoa, well, look at that! More of the same from last year. They didn't learn, have they?" It's like if that's true, they're still not truly learning what the hell's going on. But we got a couple of super chats. LI Yankee King said, "Yankees need KINK. I don't know what that is. Playing players out of position." So I get what you're saying. We know that kink. Maybe that's the new thing. They need to stop. They need kink.
They gotta get kinky.
They gotta get kinky out there.
Is that
I don't know if Boone is capable of getting kinky. He doesn't have it in him. Boone don't know what getting kinky is. Anthony Medina says, Happy New Year, guys. A success to NYY News TV. Let's go Yankees. No doubt about it, Anthony. We're there with you. And then L.I. Yanking also says the manager I wanted was Manny Acta for the Yankees. I would have chose a stepping stool as the Yankee manager over Aaron Boone, but I don't get to make that decision, unfortunately. But one of the things that if the Yankees did go out there and they look for that trade with Oakland, I think everybody is kind of positioning themselves right now with the understanding is that would probably, if it's the, everything goes right type of world and type of move, you're looking at a starting pitcher and an offensive guy. I mean, I think that's the best trade the Yankees can make with Oakland. And I tell you what, I've been looking at this guy quite a bit over the last couple of days, and I didn't even know I knew he was good, but I didn't know Sean Manaea was that damn good. This guy would be friggin' awesome
That's
for the
so
Yankees.
funny you just brought that up. My uncle actually scouted him. He was a scout for the A's for a while. He's back with the A's now, but he was with the Braves for a while. Whatever team he leaves, they end up winning the World Series. He left the Royals. He left the Royals.
Shit.
They won. Then now he left the Braves back to Oakland. They just won. But he said Manaea, man, he got hurt, but he's a solid pitcher. And my brother's been bringing it up, SGR on the podcast. Like, if they could put a deal together and maybe steal Manaea, he's a great guy to add to that rotation.
No
Hopefully
doubt.
he stays healthy.
Oh yeah.
And he's a lefty.
I mean, he had the perfect game, right? A couple years ago before he got hurt.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. I know more and more guys, are throwing no hitters nowadays, but this kid is pretty legit. If the Yankees can somehow figure that out, he'd be a great addition. I would never argue with that addition.
Yeah,
I really do think the Yankees trade for Olsen. I think they will also try to trade for one of their starter pitchers.
Exactly.
Well, that has to be the two players, right?
It's got to be. Well, think about this.
I
mean, look, if you're the Yankees and where you are right now, I know for a fact we're not going to be too upset, right, if they go out there and get Olsen. But I tell you what, I will have a little anger in me if we also don't go out there and get one of their starting pitchers. Because I just think it makes too much damn sense.
Sure.
It's the perfect package deal for the Yankees.
You just got to think of a bigger trade package now if you're trying to get both now.
I mean,
I don't think it's that much bigger.
I was gonna say it's actually not as much bigger as most people would think.
No, because the A's are going to be looking to shed, and I really think the Yankees can put something together. They've had good history with them.
They have a great. It's one of the teams where they have the best relationships.
And when it comes to Brian Cashman, that's the teams he trades with. He doesn't go. He goes with the regulars. There's a regular group of trade partners.
Yeah,
I really do think Cashman would try not to include Peraza.
He'll try.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know if
He's
he can
not
get
gonna
away
have
with
to.
that.
You have
he
to.
won't.
You're not gonna get Olsen back. I don't think Olsen comes back. If he finds a way to swing a trade that involves Matt Olsen and Peraza is not in it,
Sure.
I
mean,
don't know, bro.
Jaw
Like,
dropped.
yeah, my jaw's on the floor. I don't know how the hell he does it. Unless, all right, Peraza's not included, but then it's literally Medina, Heel, Schmidt. Like it would like to not include Peraza, you have to add so much of the next tier.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't see it. I'd rather, and again, like love Peraza, love what he did last year, but it's like we're at the time where it's like, look, he's ready. He's MLB ready now. We're not going to start him. We're not going to start him this year. Then move him.
Bro,
And
exactly.
move him right now while the strike while the iron is hot. This is the best time to trade him. And Oakland makes the most sense because he's not making any money and Oakland's not trying to spend any money. They're about to go into their little rebuild. Put him in the deal. You put him in the deal, and I could see Olsen and Manaea being the focal points of what comes back from Oakland. Then we just have to build around Peraza.
Would you guys do a mega haul and try to acquire 3 of them?
Somebody
Chapman,
just put that in
Olsen,
there.
and pitcher.
Tyler with a super chat just now said, "Could we get Olsen, Chapman, and a pitcher?" I think that's.
Sure.
I think we. To be fair, in reality, we probably could, but that means the Yankees really gutting a lot of it. And to tell you the truth, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, possible.
I don't
yes.
give a shit. Possible, yes. Likely, very, very,
Possible,
very
exactly.
much a no.
Possible, yes. I'll say it's unlikely because if you're Oakland, and I was telling Rocket Man about this a couple weeks ago.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man was arguing, and he's like, "Why can't we get 3 players? We can get 4 players." I was like, "If you're Oakland, like you want to diversify the returns that you're getting on these guys because you only get to trade them one time,
Facts.
right?"
Exactly.
So to make up the reason that mega deals are so rare is because teams don't naturally want to give everything to one team, right? Like if you're already going to trade with the Yankees for Matt Olson and maybe a pitcher, that's a pretty freaking big deal as it is. Don't you want to like see, okay, so now what can I get from Chapman elsewhere? They like the Yankees prospects. That's not up for debate. And I wasn't debating Rocket on that either. They do like the Yankees prospects, as do a lot of other teams. We like our prospects. But there's other teams with other prospects out there that I'm sure they're interested in. And they know for a Matt Chapman, they could get. For a Chris Bassett, they could damn sure get. You know what I mean? So it's like
one of the things, too, that would make more sense, like if you're Oakland, you might be able to pull a few top guys if you trade these guys individually than doing it with just one club.
But that's what it is. That's why teams don't like to do that.
Right.
Because then you hamstring because it's like, okay, we could get a lot from the Yankees, but again, like these are all Yankees prospects, right?
Yeah.
You're not really diversifying your return. Now, when you trade 4 guys to 2 and 3 different teams, you're getting, high end to middle level prospects from 3 different organizations. They're all coming in with different philosophies. Like it's good. It's good juices to put into your farm system and mix it up and change it up and, spice it up for the years to come. That's what you want to do when you're in the position that Oakland's in. That's what you want to do. You're getting rid of some big talent. You want to bring in some like high ceiling, diverse guys with, a lot of potential. That's what you want to do.
Let me ask you guys this. Sorry, RB, you go.
It was like a prime example when the Yankees were talking with the Pirates, when Cashman was interested in trying to acquire both Musgrove and Tyone, but the Pirates didn't want to do that. They wanted to do 2 separate trades.
Right.
So that's why we just ended up with Tyone and Musgrove to the Padres. I was thinking back
there's a couple problems too. Couple obstacles. One, you have the Yankee tax, right? Every team that is trading to the Yankees inflates the value of the player being traded to the Yankees, and at the same time, they know the Yankees inflate the value of their prospects.
Prospects, right?
Cashman's notorious for doing it. Look at Chance Adams. I mean, he's a prime example. The Yankees talked about him like he was the next fucking Cy Young.
Here's my question on that, though. Is it teams inflating it or the Yankees inflating it?
It's probably both.
A little bit of both, yeah.
It's probably a little bit of both, but Cashman is notorious for doing it at least.
100%.
And here's what I wanted to mention. I want to know. I know we talked about it the last live we did, but it was a few weeks back now, and we had a whole bunch of us. Now that it's just 4 of us, would you say this? And I know it's tough to like separate everything and just really think in the moment. the Yankees are not in a situation right now where we can be thinking 2-3 years in the future.
No, of course not.
Okay.
And that's my
No,
biggest
it's
problem
not.
with these fans that want Volpe to. No, come
Peraza
on.
sounds great. Volpe sounds great, and I love Volpe. Anthony Volpe sounds like a Yankee.
He's the
sounds
closest thing we've had to Derek Jeter as a prospect.
100%.
There's no doubt
let
about
me tell
it.
you something. I want nothing more than the Yankees to do what they got to do this year. Keep this kid waiting and bring him up when he's ready, and for this kid to kill it and be a career Yankee and win World Series with this team. I want nothing more than that.
100%.
But for me right now, and people can hate me for this or disagree with me, I say this all the time. Prospects are pipe dreams right now.
Of course.
I don't care about any of them. If you're bringing me a guy who's going to help me win a World Series right now, I'm doing it. I don't give a shit.
Got to.
It
But
better be good.
that's the
It
right
better be
mentality.
good.
Chris,
Chris, that's
we're
the
not
right
we're not the
mentality, Chris.
Pirates. And this is what fans got to understand. Where did this mindset come from that the
Yeah.
New York Yankees of all clubs could wait years for guys to get here and hope that we win the following year?
And wait, the problem is like people forget. Everyone's like, well, we need to build for the future. Hey guys, we just fucking did that a couple years ago and it hasn't worked out too well.
That's right.
Exactly.
Okay? I don't know
We
where
passed
you've
on
been.
a lot of people.
I don't know where
Nah,
you've been since 2016, 2017, but we've gone backwards.
I
Yeah.
had a heated back and forth with a dude on Twitter. I think it was this week, saying like pretty much the same thing. Like the ideal situation for the Yankees is to just hold tight for 2 years, wait for Volpe to come up, and then go from there. I was like, that sounds good, but like you're telling this to Garrett Cole, who just signed here to win. You're telling this to Aaron Judge, who's been here how many years? You're telling this to Giancarlo, who has how many years of prime baseball left in him? Like these guys don't
There
want to
you
hear
go.
that shit. Like,
There you go.
and they shouldn't want to hear that. They're in their prime now. Like as much as they would love for Anthony Volpe to come up and kill shit, they want him to come up and kill shit after they've already won one in 2 years.
And how
Like-
quick does Prime go like that?
Quick,
Exactly.
fast.
Exactly.
These guys know this is a different game. It's 2022. Like they understand that windows close and they slam shut and that's it.
Yep.
Like you trust me, if you're Aaron Judge, as nice of a guy as he is, I'm pretty sure he's taking the opportunity to win now. There's no arguing it. That's your legacy right there. You could be the greatest Yankee in the world, all the stats or whatever, man. But if you didn't win, we all know what happens with that. Like,
That is why.
too.
That is why I keep saying. That's why I keep saying. Like, Francis and P, you agree? Chris, I don't know if you agree. That's why I'm at the point where I'm literally putting Dominguez on the table.
That's it, man. Everyone.
And they all are.
The only.
But it
person
better make
I'm very
sense.
hesitant
of
is
course,
Volpe.
it got to make
Because-
sense.
Look,
Chris is
look,
right.
let me
my
be
dream
honest. I'm
scenario-
just gonna keep it real about Volpe real quick. I've met him, and my quick little encounter and seeing him talk in person was terrific. He's way ahead of his time and he's perfect for New York. But on top of that, you could tell everything about Anthony Volpe that he's a guy you want to hold on to because he could be the
Yeah.
face of your franchise for years and years to come. I love Oswald Peraza. I traveled to go see the guy. He's not going to be the face of the Yankees franchise. They don't hope that that's going to happen.
No.
Jason Dominguez, as much as you want to talk hype about him, I don't think he's going to be the face of the Yankees franchise.
No.
Because
here's the
what is the realistic percentage that this guy becomes Mike Trout that everybody thinks he's going to be?
Well, are we talking about the realistic percentage based on the Yankees' past
History.
nurturing of
Yes.
prospects?
Yes.
It's about 2%
There
as
you
of
go.
right now.
There you
It's
go.
about 2%, which has
But-
nothing to do with the player itself. It's about the
No.
Yankee organization.
Exactly.
It's about the org, and that's what I keep telling guys. It's like they're out here screaming on Twitter that Dominguez is untouchable. This is like, whoa, time out, bro.
Nah, man.
The guy just started playing here this year. All right. Yes, he crushes baseballs. Yes, he is a switch hitter. Yes, he's a physical specimen. He doesn't know how to run the bases.
I was about to say, and yes,
Listen.
he is extremely raw.
He doesn't know how to
Exactly.
run the bases.
Listen.
Like that just tells you he's got a ways to go.
But
Here's
Francis,
where-
that's fine though. We let's wait 5 or 6 years. Once he's ready, then we have our young core.
But that's what I'm saying. Send him to a team who can wait 4 years.
But here's where the argument ends for me.
the
Ready?
Pirates.
I stop when someone tells me you can't trade what the hell's his name? We were just talking about him.
Jason Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez. You can't trade Dominguez. You know what I asked him? Oh, how has he been in Major League Baseball? Is he good? Well, he
Yeah, right.
could be.
Right.
Oh, he could be? Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that he's a waste of space.
We're not
Yeah,
a
I mean-
Oh
cooking
yeah, but
team.
not likely. I
No.
don't care, dude.
sick
My
of it.
grandmother could be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Absolutely,
next
she
year.
absolutely could
It's
be.
still plausible, right? I
Right.
mean, have we signed
She
a shortstop?
absolutely could
You know what I
be.
mean? If we're dealing in the realm of could be's,
We'll never win.
like do you know
Can't
how many
anymore.
could be's
Yankees
there are?
don't have the luxury to do that anymore.
No.
It's
No.
been too
No.
many years.
But they shouldn't. Here's the thing. They shouldn't. They have money. They have the power of the almighty dollar.
But
they
we're
don't
gonna-
have to bank on hope.
We're gonna talk about one of those money guys here real quick. But let me get to some of these super chats real fast. Primetime Jay says, "Sign Story, get Olsen, Mania, Murphy, wake up Cashman." I don't think anybody would be upset if that was all that happened. I would love that. Michael Jackson says, "Hee hee, Mania won't be any good if Gary the shit Sanchez is behind the plate."
Yeah, that's
So
tough.
Yeah, he
we'll
probably
talk.
won't be able to catch
Chris,
an Iowa.
Chris, I've said this for the longest time. At the end of the year, 3/5 of the rotation wouldn't throw to him. Why is he here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
there's still
he's
time
still-
to
he's
move him.
still-
So
He's still here for now. Let's see.
Hey,
And-
he's working hard though. You see him working
he
hard.
always is.
He's always working hard. I'm still so torn with Gary. Keep going.
Listen, I want him.
I'm
I
done
want
with
him.
Gary.
Listen, I
I'm
want
done with
Gary
Gary.
to be. I want Gary
Okay,
to be
I'm gonna-
successful.
Francis,
I
I
just
gotta
want
do
it to
it.
be somewhere else.
I'm gonna sum up. I'm gonna sum up Gary Sanchez for everybody real quick. I'm gonna go around the room and ask: do you think there's any possibility that Gary Sanchez all of a sudden becomes an above-average defensive catcher?
No.
There you go. He needs to go. That's
Yeah,
all.
he's-
Look, can Gary Sanchez
But
next year
Pete,
30
but
plus
Pete,
homers? Yes, he
here's where I
could.
got to fight you a little bit because even though he's disappointing up at bat, how many catchers out there are better than him that are available?
Defensively, hundreds.
No, not defensively.
Offensively,
Offensively.
Not
Because
tons.
don't-
Not,
no,
not many
offensive-
of them. Not
don't
many
get
of
it
them.
Offensively,
twisted.
not many.
Don't get it twisted.
Offensively,
If
not
Gary
many.
Sanchez put together the same performance he did in what was it, 2016?
Mhm.
If he continued that type of play at the
He's
plate,
one of the best catchers
those
in
pass
baseball.
balls,
Wouldn't
no
matter.
one would even mention them. They'd blame the pitcher.
Exactly.
But see, that's my point.
Yeah.
But here's
His
the problem.
offense
Pete.
isn't
Here's
that
the
good.
problem. But here's the problem. It's not that good, but it's still the best out of anyone available pretty much
Correct.
right now.
But Chris-
so when you replace him with a defensive catcher, which I'm agreeing with you should happen,
right.
because that position should be a defensive position for where the Yankees stand right now.
There
They
you
don't
go.
need an
Exactly.
offensive
There
catcher.
you go.
The fans will fucking
I don't
rip
give a
on that.
fucking shit.
I'm just telling you. I'm just
give a
being
shit.
realistic here.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're 100%.
You're
And I know
100%. That
Look,
should be a defensive.
I'm
but,
on
but
record,
all the
I've said
fans that
it.
complain about Gary, the second we get a true defensive catcher
Spot
here,
on.
and they're a fucking automatic out, which it feels like Gary is right now, but he's really not. Forget about it. If
But
this
here's
guy
what I
played
said.
the way he did in 16, people would be like, pass balls. You
Here's
mean
what I
wild
said.
pitches?
Though. Here's what I said about Gary Sanchez.
No,
And
it's
I
true.
hope it
Spot
does
on,
happen.
spot on.
If Gary Sanchez goes to the National League, the CBA's done. They got the DH there. I hope Gary Sanchez is friggin' awesome for somebody.
Yeah, he will be.
But he is
He's gonna
not
hit
good
40.
for this club, and that's
He's
all there
not
is
New
to
York.
it. He's not a
He's
fit
just
for the
not
Yankees.
a New York guy. He's just not,
Chris,
and we all know it.
Chris, would you be happy if the Yankees acquire Contreras?
Yeah. Yeah. Look,
People,
Anybody
it's like
that
similar to
Sanchez is-
Sanchez.
I'm not sitting here fighting for Gary Sanchez. All I'm saying is
You're making the
It's
right
n-
point.
it's just not for me. It's just like the fans that complain about him the most. I'm not saying all the fans. I'm saying the ones that are the loudest don't understand that if he were hitting home runs every other time up, they wouldn't even care about his defense, which his defense has gotten better over the last couple of years. It really hasn't gone down, but it's like he's focused too much on it and it's pulled away from what he was actually good at. And so now you just have a mediocre guy going out there on both ends. And it's not working.
But that's the thing. Exactly. And that's the thing for Gary. He's not doing that. I'd be the first one right here agreeing with you. If somebody came to me and said, okay, Gary's Mike Piazza level or 2016 Gary, I would say, hey, look, if I'm Boone and I'm on record saying this, you got to get him and Cole together and say, look, enough of the shit. You guys have to work this shit out. But guess what? Gary has done himself
Boone's
no
not doing that.
favors. He's done himself no favors, and Boone's not going to do that.
We
You
just
didn't
have to
do that, and that's
we
the
just
issue.
have to think about something real quick. Here's where the problem comes into play with needing Kyle Higashioka as your fucking catcher, as an ace of this organization. Think about what that did to an already depleted lineup in the wild card game.
It
Think
hurts.
about that for a second.
hurts.
Think about it.
It hurts.
Not only did we have, and again, I'm not ripping on Velasquez. I think what he did was great for this team. Not only did we have him starting, then you have Kyle Higashioka in this lineup also because what? Gary can't catch our ace? Our multi-million-dollar ace?
Yeah.
That can't happen. You
Well,
can't
that's my
do
point. And look, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Cole ain't going nowhere. So you got to get rid of Gary. And look, let's be real.
that's what I'm saying.
But it also wasn't just Cole. It was Kluber. It was Montgomery at the end of the year.
know.
Montgomery staying with us. The man got to go.
But
He
here's
gotta
the
go.
problem, too. Kyle Higashioka is not the answer.
No, not at all.
He's never
Not at
the
all.
answer. If you had 100 Jeopardy questions come up about catchers, not one of them will be Kyle Higashioka as the fucking answer.
Give me
I
Carson.
promise
Give
you
me
that.
Carson Kelly. Give me Wilson Contreras. There's a few. I wanted Jacob Stallings. And look, the Red Sox wanted him. There was many teams that wanted this guy. I thought he would have been the perfect pickup. He would have been the perfect pickup for this club.
Is like the perfect replacement for Gary. But even although people compare him similar to Gary, but Contreras don't play around.
You know what I thought about? You know what I thought about? It's weird to talk about because I'm not someone who sits here and thinks about fucking backup catchers. But if the Yankees were going to go down this road of like allowing starting pitchers to have their own personal catcher and it's not going to be Gary Sanchez, then why did you let the best backup catcher in baseball go? Why? I'm not saying, look, I'm not sitting here saying Romine needs to be on this team. Like a lot of fans were like, Romine needs to be here.
I don't think they thought Gary would ever be this bad.
But dude, it was only, I mean, they saw where he was projecting to be.
The biggest problem with Gary, I'll be honest with you, I truly believe this, is he doesn't have that Tony Pena no more. He doesn't have Joe Girardi no more. These guys were on his ass.
He thought he hated Joe Girardi, but Joe Girardi was the best thing
for him
that could have ever happened to him.
No doubt about it. There's no question
But
about it.
That's the thing. He would have been better. He would have been better had Girardi never, been removed from his position. Sanchez probably would have improved defensively because he would have had no choice. Either he would have improved defensively or he would have been benched because Girardi didn't care. Because Girardi understood that defense had to be prioritized. Now we're in a situation where, like you said, Gary Sanchez provides a little bit of a spark offensively, and because the rest of the league is experiencing an economic downturn in terms of offense for catchers,
right,
Gary Sanchez looks like one of the best guys out there. I get that. But see, the thing is, it's like we all have said in this chat. The reality at the catcher position is you need a defensive guy.
For this club, yes,
position.
Because look, here's the other thing.
But
you don't need Gary's offense.
I don't even think it's just for this club. I think in general, look at the game of baseball today. What is more important to get from your catcher, offense or defense? Because the catcher affects so much of that game defensively with your pitching staff and everything. I mean, you can't. It's freaking the impact is so great. It's we could talk about this for hours. You can't prioritize offense. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the defense from that position is so. It's not like first base. First base, a guy could be defensively, but you want to get offense from your first base.
People forget how below average of a defensive catcher Jorge Posada was.
Correct.
But what did Jorge Posada have that Gary Sanchez doesn't? That's leadership.
Oh, hell yeah.
Jorge Posada
and let's be fair here,
he was balls in a row,
and he was way better
offensively.
offensively.
Stand up there. And he knew how to stand up there and lead a team, regardless of how incompetent he was at times behind the plate. He knew who was in charge. You knew who was in charge every fucking pitch. You knew it was Jorge Posada. You don't feel that with Gary Sanchez.
Yeah.
But they wanted to pitch
Gary.
And look how he fought. Remember when Johnson was like, he fought. He was pissed about it. He's like, no, this shit doesn't happen. No. So
but that's real shit.
The biggest problem with Gary is the people around him at this point.
That's right.
Because no one will look him in the eyes and tell him, Gary, I'm sorry, but to be at the level defensively that you want to be comes naturally. You don't have it.
Yep.
So stop wasting so much of your time being someone that you're never going to be and try to improve on where your game was best.
Hitting.
And no one sat him down and told him that.
Yep.
And they put this fucking false dream inside of him and said, keep working defense. I'm not saying don't work defensively. Yeah, of course you can improve. He's trying to be some fucking Gold Glove catcher when really all he has to do, you have to learn how to block a little better and have a little quicker pop because you have the best arm behind the plate too, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
And that's it. And focus on hitting home runs.
Yes.
Focus on putting the ball in play. Because back when Gary first came up, not only was he hitting home runs, but he was fucking smoking the ball. He was hitting the ball harder than anyone.
He was one of the best hitters on the team, arguably arguably one of the best pure hitters on the team.
A-Rod said he was the best.
Yeah.
A-Rod
And
said
I'm
he was the
telling
best,
you.
and I agreed.
Listen,
I have a
I
theory.
didn't disagree back then.
I have
And
a
Judge
theory.
was alive, by the way.
Yeah, I got a theory that there's some players that truly been affected by analytics, and I'm telling you, Matt Chapman's one of
100%.
them. I never really looked into Gary Sanchez. That's actually a good thing to look into. But a lot of
Gleyber.
these guys have really been affected. Gleyber Torres by
Gleyber Torres,
becoming,
big
don't
one.
be who you are. Start trying to hit more homers. Start trying to hit the
We
ball in
need
the
you
air
to do
more.
this. Don't
Correct.
do that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So let me get to some of these super chats here. Ra, our good friend, family, good old Ra says, "My guys, I'm a little under the weather with the fam. Shaking my head. Yankees overthinking the Matt Chapman situation has drained my energy. Just giving you all a shout out. Go NYY News TV." Tyler says, "Would you do this trade? Olsen, Chapman, and Medea for Torres, Gio, Voit, Peraza, Medina, Florial, and Herman."
Say that one more time. Was it
That's a
Manaea?
lot. That's
Does
a
they
lot.
mean
Manaya. I said Medea. I'm sorry. I
Manaya.
read it the way he said it. Manaya. So
right, so
Olsen,
say it
Chapman, and Manaya for
Olsen,
Gleyber
Chapman.
Torres, Giovanni Urshela, Luke Voit, Oswald Peraza, Luis Medina, Estevan Florial, and Domingo Herman. That's too
It's
MLB
too
to show
much.
for me.
It's too much Major League money going back to
Yeah,
Oakland. They're not.
Yeah,
gonna
it
do
does.
That
It
ain't
wouldn't
gonna
make sense.
It's
That's
too
not
much
gonna make
major,
sense for
too
Oakland.
much money going back to Oakland. You guys gotta be realistic in the sense that and Chris said it clearly earlier. Oakland is going to move these players in the hopes of cutting their salary and getting prospects for the future who are dirt cheap.
Right.
They don't want. They not saying that a Gleyber Torres is not. Of course, they will take maybe one of those guys, but three of them. That's way too much
Because
money coming
that's
back.
Oakland's game. That's Oakland's game, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the Yankees.
They created
are trying to be
Moneyball.
Oakland.
They
That's
created
right. Yeah.
Moneyball. They created
Shit, they
Moneyball.
made a fucking movie off.
They're
of
not
it.
gonna come on. They're not
We
gonna.
got
They're not
Brad
gonna.
Pitt in that shit.
They're not gonna come
Shit.
back. They're not gonna come back. I might watch that movie tonight. I was
Brad
thinking
Pitt,
about what
Brad
movie I
Pitt
want
got
to watch.
paid. Brad Pitt got paid more to do that movie than the entire team in the last
Yeah, that's
20
right.
years.
Yeah, that's right.
Bro.
Fuck.
No, look, dude. It's think about it. Well, he said Voit, Gio,
It's
and
insane.
Gleyber.
It's all
For
of that.
No,
Nah,
it's a
Nah,
ridiculous
that's
amount of money.
ridiculous,
It's
yeah.
too much money. Oakland
Oakland's
doesn't
not
pay that
doing
kind
that.
of. Come
Oakland's
on, no.
not doing that. Primetime Jay says Silver Spoon Hal needs to let his balls hang and follow in
Let
the
them
OG
balls
Steinbrenner
hang.
footsteps. Open the bank, you son of a bitch. Because
Let 'em
right
hang.
now, this is a fourth place team. I don't know if it's a fourth place team, but they're definitely, I wouldn't say definitely guaranteed to
You
be
know what I
first, but-
want? You know what I want? I just want a fucking season where we don't question it. Like every year, it's like, oh,
Right.
Yankees should be in first, and then it's like, oh, we're trying to get into second. We're trying to make that wild card. Like, no, man, just fucking give it to me. Give me everything. Stop with
I
the
need-
question marks.
Open
I
that
need
wallet.
a
Open that wallet.
1998 season again, where like
Mm.
literally
I don't know if that'll ever
all
happen
year.
again.
It probably won't happen again, but I just remember that feeling, just like,
Dude, you know what's so
I'm not
funny?
worried. I'm not worried about any team.
When
Like,
we went into last season, it was just we were trying to start the year, and maybe we can do it here, where we were just like, you know what, we're gonna stay positive,
Oh,
and
God.
we said our
I
motto.
do it every year.
Francis does it.
Our-
I don't know
I
if
do
I'm
it every year.
capable, man. We got to make the right moves, and
we
maybe
said-
I could be,
Listen, we said our motto is all rise all the time, right? It's gonna be like 98. We don't even have to fucking think about it.
but I feel like we're all angry this year though, because look,
It
you got
was-
the
it was
Garrett
the-
Cole, the
it
Garrett
was
Cole
the
SMD
opposite.
tour.
That's
We
it.
got to be hot about this.
But
stuff,
Chris,
man. We
Chris,
have
how
to be.
long? Chris, how long did that last for you?
1 week. 1 week.
No, but you
And we were
remember
angry-
that
but we were
first week of
angry about it.
baseball.
But you tried.
Was fucking terrible.
No,
That first week was,
It was 1 week.
horrible.
It was 1 week, and we were like reminded ourselves 10 different times. All right, all rise all the time. Then 3 weeks passed, and it was like, okay, maybe the fans have a little bit of gray. Maybe they're onto something. This team might not be good. Still all rise all the time. And then it was like a slap in the face when they took off and went on that like 13-game winning streak,
Right,
whatever.
right.
It was like, fuck yeah, this is what we're talking about, not turning back. And then it was like,
They gave
They
the guys
reversed
away.
It's like we're turning back. When
They
they,
look,
Francis,
they turn the
Francis.
corner all the time. It's that
Ah.
they turn the wrong way. They
Wrong
turn
way,
the wrong
yeah.
way.
Francis, you said the 98 season. Listen, I'm willing to take the 09 as well.
I'll take 09 any
I'll
day
take
of the week.
09.
Give me
09 was another year that I
09
think
was
gets
awesome.
underrated, but all
Listen,
year,
yeah.
like there was very few parts of the year where I was like,
let me
I
tell
don't know
Francis,
about
we
them.
talked about this today. Here's the problem with 09. Analytics doesn't work well with 09.
Oh, analytics hates.
Do you see
analytics hates that team.
that type of lineup? You got average up top, the power guys in the middle, and the guys that you just hope they get on base. They do maybe they hit a little homers, they bat a little lower. Your Nick Swishers, your guys like that. But the top of that order, Jeter and Damon, you'll never find anything better than that.
You know, I say this all the time, and it sounds so stupid to say. Like, it sounds dumb. Like, I feel stupid when it comes out of my mouth. The Yankees are at their best when the bottom of the lineup knows how to get on base.
That's right.
And it seems stupid, right? It seems like, yeah, of course, Chris, like every team would be bet. No, I'm talking about this team wins when the bottom of their lineup gets on base because we have so many guys at the top that are, you know, either all in or nothing at all. When we can mix in, when DJ has a good year and knows how to get on base at the top, and then you have your Judges and Stantons who are going to strike out a lot, but, you know, have come around a little bit more. When the bottom of this lineup, tell me this isn't the worst kind of Yankee baseball you can watch. When the bottom of the lineup follows, you know, Judge and Stanton striking out and Sanchez, and then they just go down 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
You can't have it. You need to put guys in this lineup. They don't need to be good hitters, but they need to get on base. And that's why I like a guy like Joey Gallo, because
lower in the order.
Put him 7th.
Yeah,
I don't
He
care.
likes that. That's
That's
the issue.
exactly. But that's what
He
I
likes
want
that.
him down there.
Well, we talked about this in
He
depth
likes
today.
that because that's where he goes.
Yes,
that's
and
where he fits.
If Joey Gallo did what he did for the 300 at bats that he had with Texas, hitting 220, whatever his on base percentage is almost 400, so almost 40% of the time, that would be. Do you know how much better that is on the lineup like the Yankees than Texas?
Still hitting 30 plus home runs.
Still hitting 30 plus homers. So that's the thing. Like when people talk about all this analytics and average, I always say it also depends on the team they play for.
Sure.
That makes them valuable.
It depends because the team they play for is going to dictate where they get to go in the lineup. Joey Gallo is the kind of guy who, and a lot of people might relax after I say this but Joey Gallo is the kind of guy who you might actually want to re-sign, depending how you construct your roster and
depending
your lineup.
Too on if he can handle New York. I do have a little concern there.
That too. I'll give you that.
How many times have you seen the Yankees have a guy like Gallo and just not use him right?
Yeah, that's true.
More times than we can count.
Utilize the guy the right way.
That's what I'm saying.
What the frig they're doing.
But that's what I'm saying. You look at a guy like Gallo, right? He's gonna hit free agency after this year. He's not gonna be terribly expensive. The Yankees, contrary to popular belief, they have tons of money to spend. If you have Joey Gallo comfortably sitting in the 6th hole, the 7th hole, the kind of production that he's getting from that hole, he's not gonna hit 270. But I don't care.
He doesn't need to.
Like I just said, I'm not looking for Gallo to give me 270. Gallo's actually the kind of guy where I don't care what his batting average is. I do care what his on base percentage is. I do care what his OPS plus is, and I do care what his WRC plus is. But he's going to get those numbers in the 6th or 7th spot if you keep him there consistently. Right. I don't mean that you can't be moving him
just one game
to the 3rd hole because that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
The problem with the Yankees for years now, it wasn't just last year. We've been saying this for a while. We haven't had a consistent lineup where we just know where guys hit.
It's wild.
For how long?
Wild.
For how long?
No damn sense.
And then they're telling
don't let me talk about the wild card lineup, please.
They're like, but
wait, hold on, I'm getting there. I got to say something.
Oh god.
But they're like, this is analytics. We're looking at the best. Yeah, it's analytics. But let me tell you, a lot of teams are like, pretty heavy into it, but they also have lineups that you can more or less, you can guess it before it comes out. There's going to be a tweak here and there, right? Series to series, things like that.
100%.
But we where's our continuity? Where's it been?
Listen. If there's one thing I learned playing baseball my whole life, is that baseball is all about consistency.
Of course.
This team has been so fucking inconsistent. It's unreal. But let's do a quick experiment. Talking about utilizing guys like Joey Gallo. Who looked at that lineup when the wild card lineup came out? What was he batting? Clean it?
Yeah, batting 4th.
Okay, let's start with the 4 of us. Yes or no? He should have been batting cleanup. Pete?
No.
Arby?
No.
Francis?
No.
Me? No. The 90 plus people in the chat. Yes or no? Should he have been batting cleanup? I guarantee you, if not a 100%, 99.9% of us can say no. Then who in the Yankee fucking meeting room, wherever the fuck they're meeting before the game, said yes.
Analytics. You want to tell you
Who
why? I
said
broke this
yes?
down.
Who said yes?
The analytics department, Fishman and
Well,
those
the
guys.
analytics department should go screw.
Yeah.
Well,
They should.
This is
But
what we've been saying.
But here's the thing.
Why is our analytics department so trash?
Let me tell you why and exactly what they did. And honestly, it was pretty damn obvious. So what they did was this. It's as simple as this. Their hope was that Rizzo, who they put lead off, because he walks and gets on base, that one of the first two hitters would get on base and somebody will hit a home run. That's their only hope. And I said it when the lineup came out. You go look back on Twitter. I said, they're already throwing in the white flag. I can't believe it. And everybody in the comments, Pete, the lineup's great.
Cold?
The lineup's great. I said, what lineup? What lineup's great?
Let me explain something, because I know some of you out there, those smart Alex, are going to say, well, if you remember, Boston put out their lineup first, and Boston's lineup was eerily similar to what the Yankees ultimately did. Let me tell you something about Boston last year. They were not as good on paper as the New York Yankees were, okay? They played way better than the New York Yankees did for the majority of the year, but they didn't have the roster that we had. The Red Sox did that because they had to. In a one-game playoff against the Yankees, one game, winner go home, they 100%. Had to put Kyle Schwarber leading off. They had to get, tricky or whatever. That's what Cora had to do in that situation. When they went to the next series and moved on, guess who wasn't leading off? Guess how their lineup looked? It looked a lot like it looked all season. They did that because that's what they had to do going up against a guy like Garrett Cole. They knew that they had to do that. The Yankees did not have to do that. I know we had DJ out. I know we didn't have a shortstop. I get it. I understand. But there was so many other we had weeks to plan for this game. Yep. Guys, the Yankees seem to be the only people in the world who didn't know that they'd be playing in a wild card game. We knew that they were going to be playing in that wild card game. We knew it. We knew it forever. As a matter of fact, me and Pete said it, I think, before the trade deadline. We said either it's wild card or they don't make it at all.
That's right.
Yep. He said it perfectly. He said it perfectly. Once Evaldi saw the lineup 1 through 4, I was gonna get through 1 through 4, and that's it. It's easy money for me.
Bro, did you see the lineup? The lineup was a friggin' joke. If you got through 4, we could have got them out. 1 through 3, we could have got them out.
Really,
that's Gallo going into it was really not like on fire.
Not at all.
I mean,
no, he was cold. He was really cold.
This is the problem. I said it before in the past. Gallo publicly said, "I don't feel comfortable batting in the top of the order. Put me down in the bottom of the lineup."
See, here's the thing. I heard this a couple of times about Gallo already too. He doesn't want to bat high. He doesn't want to play center field. Go the fuck home. I mean, that's my whole thing.
I agree with you on that too.
That's my thing. Like, I heard this multiple times. The reason he didn't play center is because he told the Yankees he doesn't enjoy playing center field. Well, go fuck off. We traded for you to play.
I don't really care what you enjoy doing.
I don't give a shit what you do. You're a major league ball player.
Honestly, I'd come to the table with Joey Gallo, right? And I'd say, listen, you have 2 asks, right? We're going to be able to give you one of those asks. The ask that we're going to give you is you're not going to be batting in the top of the lineup.
Right.
You will, however, have to play some center field. I think that's fair. All right. It's a happy medium, but you can't have both. You can't have both.
Judge playing center, you can have Gallo playing center.
Let me tell you something. Out of Gallo and Judge playing center, I 100% rather Joey Gallo playing center.
Me too.
It's not to say that he's 100 times better than Judge with the glove or whatever.
Risk.
But the risk is so much greater with Judge playing center.
That's right.
And Gallo's body type is just more conducive to him being able to be durable out there.
He's a tall, lanky, athletic guy.
He looks like a baseball. Remember, Judge's body.
Judge is a football player.
It held up in 2021, but that's not the standard for a baseball player. Right. When's the last time you saw a center fielder look like that? I mean, I was looking at a video of Bo Jackson today. I just remember like Bo Jackson in right field, freaking jacked and shit. But it made sense. He played football. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you also, I mean, Dave Winfield's the only other guy, but Dave Winfield's body too was different than Judge's.
But also that's not they bring that up a lot. But also look at how Winfield aged.
Correct.
Yeah, that's the thing that this is a conversation that I don't think a lot of people want to have, and I'm not saying that's going to happen with. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Judge. I know that there's new technology. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
He's doing yoga now and shit. I get it.
That is why.
But you never know.
That is why after the CBA is over and they come to an agreement, I will literally push hard, whatever it takes, to talk to the Pirates and listen. Who do you want for Brian Reynolds?
Ain't
What
gonna
would it
happen.
take?
It
Dominguez?
starts if they want to have the conversation, I'd be surprised. But it starts with Dominguez probably.
The problem with
Listen,
that is that
Bye.
the problem with that is that the Pirates are a team that are looking at future. If you're not going to supplant
Very
them
much.
with a bunch of MLB ready guys that can make them competitive right now, they have no reason to get rid of a guy
No,
like that.
and I talk about this a lot too. The people don't
It's
understand.
like with Mullins.
Well, the
With
Pirates,
Mullins, there's no reason for the Orioles to trade him either.
the Pirates actually aren't, far away. If all their prospects
Exactly.
pan out the way they hope, they got a ton. They got Nick
Sure.
Gonzalez. They got Onel Cruz, who's amazing. They got Hayes, who's amazing at third base. They got Reynolds. They got
we sent
Priester.
them.
They got a
Yes.
ton. Priester. They got who the hell's the guy we sent them? Oh my god, I can't
Priester,
forget his
wasn't
name
it?
now.
It
No.
wasn't Priester?
Priester's the guy they got. Oh my god, not Contreras. Contreras? Wow, I can't think of his name now.
Well,
he
Priester was
started.
the
He
guy I
started
was
against the
thinking
Cubs at
about.
the end of the year and dominated.
You're right.
Absolutely
You're
terrific.
right.
I don't know how I can't forget his name now. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. But they got a lot of these guys. They got another guy.
Oh yeah, you're right. The Spanish kid.
I think it's Contreras. I want to say. I don't know. Maybe I'm. why
No,
am I
no,
thinking
it's not.
Contreras?
It's not Contreras. It's not Contreras. I'll figure it out. Give me a
I
second.
can't think of his name, but we got another super chat here too from Li Yanking. He said, "Here's the problem with that mindset. The team sucks."
Was it Yoendris? Was it Yoendris?
No, not Andres Gomez.
No.
No.
Okay, I'm bugging.
We seen that the Yankees fell off last
Yahu-
year. I want to
Yahude?
contend.
Yahude?
No, they got Miguel Yahude too, but it's another guy too. But trading prospects is smart. First, you need to trade away players off this roster first. Li, you say that, but then you say go trade Holmes. Why would the Yankees ever trade Clay Holmes for?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
no.
That's
I
when
saw
can't
that.
take
That's
it serious.
that's the chat that Li was talking about, that we got to trade some of our MLB guys.
Yes.
Yeah, Li, you get Justin, you have to stop this shit, man. You have to. You just have to stop. I understand, man. I understand where you're coming from, but this trading the MLB guy, it doesn't make any freaking sense, because the number one guy that we should be talking about trading, you have a love affair with, Gleyber Torres. You want to talk about trading guys from the MLB roster? It starts with Gleyber. If you don't want to talk
Facts.
about that, then stop putting this into the chats, bro, because it's not going to happen.
Can
We're
I
not
ask a
trading
question?
Holmes.
Can I ask a question about the Gallo stuff? Because I never heard that he said he didn't want to play. Is that just a rumor, or is that something he came out publicly and we know as fact that he said he didn't want to play center field?
Oh, by the way, I am right. It's Rosny Contreras.
It is Contreras.
Contreras.
Yeah.
Contreras.
I
But
just saw that.
About that.
Roansy.
Yeah,
I call them Rosny.
There you go.
Rosny.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Roansy,
There you go.
Roansy.
Rosny. But no, the thing with Gallo, I think it was actually reported by somebody somewhere. I forgot where though. That it was
Yeah,
like
I
one of
forgot-
those
I
things
forgot
of
who
off the
reported
record,
that.
but it was the
Yeah,
rumor
yeah.
or something like that.
Well, look. Regardless, if it's not something that's on record, then I'm not going to just assume. But I'll say this: just putting a bow on that aspect of him. There's nothing you love to see more than a guy go out and say, "I don't give a fuck where you want to put me. I will play anywhere for this
right.
team, wherever I need to be for us to win."
Yep.
Whether deep down they feel that or not, to go out there and put yourself and make yourself vulnerable like that and say, "I don't give a shit. I don't care where you want to bat me. I don't care what position you need me in. I don't care if you want me to fucking pitch. I will do it if it helps this team win." That's the mentality you always want to hear. I don't care how good the player is or not. And it starts there for me. It always starts there for me. So, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like Gallo now, because I don't know. If I saw him come out and I know for sure, for a fact, he said, "Well, I said I didn't really want to bat, high in the lineup, and I didn't want to play center field," I'd sit here and tell you, go screw.
Yeah,
I
facts.
don't even want you on this team.
Facts.
But just putting it in realistic terms of what I want to see from a player, the number one thing is I will do anything for this team to help them win, and it starts there.
Yep.
And if a player's not willing to do that, then you can go fucking play somewhere else for all I
Facts.
care.
And that's all that matters. And let's be fair here too. Can the Yankees just make it fair for some of these guys to play actual positions they
no.
can play? Can
No.
we start there? Like,
Wait, who was it?
Odor
Who
plays
was it
third
that they-
base for the first time, and
Don't you
thankfully Rizzo comes over and is like, "Bro, just throw me the damn ball."
Weren't
Like,
they
just-
looking at Story mid-season and they were like, they're
Center
trying
field.
to see if Trevor Story can play center field?
Yes.
Like, how about get a fucking
Yes.
center fielder?
Yes.
But this
How about we do
this
that?
is, and guys, this is what we've been saying. This shit with the Yankees, it's become a joke at this point.
It's a joke.
It's become a joke. I think around the league, they've become a laughing stock. There's no way that like reputable front offices aren't laughing every time they hear this shit about they're like, wait, they wanted Story for center field and Gleyber Torres is their shortstop? You got to be fucking kidding me, right? Like,
and
Andujar's
playing left.
Now they want Chapman, but they want to put him at short.
Bro, people got questions about Story's arm at shortstop. They're gonna put him in center field. What's he gonna do? Roll the ball in?
No, he's gonna kick. He's gonna kick it like Paul O'Neill.
Like O'Neill,
it's almost like they're doing a science experiment.
No, because
with
Pete,
all Yankee fans. Like, how far can we push this?
Analytically, the success rate of Paul O'Neill's kick versus outfielders throwing the ball. No, I mean that's what it's about, right? It's about the numbers. It's about the numbers.
Paul
right?
O'Neill has the best launch angle from his foot to a baseball of all time. There's no doubt about it.
It's 100% Hall of Fame,
Hall
of Fame stuff from that foot.
Can Cashman literally just sign the players? Listen, we have a whole shortstop, Correa. We interested in you. We're gonna sign you. You play short. Enough with this. Oh, let's be creative here. On Story, we're gonna sign you to play center. Chapman, we're gonna sign to play shortstop. What the hell? What are we doing here?
You know, Richie Martinez.
It's so easy.
Richie Martinez just commented they want to make. I hate how they want to make everyone Ben Zobrist, and that's a great fucking point. Because let me tell you something, Ben Zobrist was one of the best at what he did.
Damn right.
He changed the game with what he did. You don't get that from everyone.
Well, that's why everybody wants a Ben Zobrist.
Find lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, but
every guy.
What they don't realize is the reason that Ben Zobrist was touted the way he was is because that shit is not easy.
No,
the reason that we talk about
so underrated too.
The reason we talk about right now there's very few guys. Right now you have like Chris Bryant who kind of does it, but he doesn't do it to that level.
Jonathan VR, who's a free agent.
It's very uncommon. Remember, Zobrist was able to do that and give you a steady bat in the lineup at the same time.
Correct.
Like, and this guy was a quiet leader. Like he played for winning. He played winning baseball. Like, don't get me started. I loved Ben Zobrist. I hated him when he was on the Rays because he was on the Rays, but I loved Ben Zobrist. Like that's a baseball player. That's what you do. Is like, what do you need me today? Okay, let's go. That's why when we signed DJ, I was so happy because I was like,
bro, I love that attitude. Because I got to ask you guys this. It's so funny you just said that. Let's just go back in time a little bit, because I always think about other than Garrett Cole, right? Because that's an obvious great sign. No matter what, at this point, you had to do that.
It had to happen.
100%. Yeah, needed it.
But if you really go back in time, do you remember how you felt when the Yankees got DJ? Because remember, at the time, it was Machado, and then all of a sudden it was like DJ LeMahieu.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Like, I'm not saying you were disappointed in DJ LeMahieu, but it was a letdown because we were.
Yeah, of course it was.
Machado, right?
Well, it's the same thing this year, right? If the Yankees got Trevor Story, people are going to say, "Shit, we could have got Correa."
But here's my point, right? Cashman gets credit for that, and he should, because DJ.
It wasn't his deal, though. To be fair,
regardless, though, let's just think about something. It was fucking classic Yankee playbook. It just so happened that DJ fit perfectly, right? It just so happened DJ became an absolute star for this team. But it was classic fucking Yankees. Pass on the guy that we would have spent money on if it were 10 years ago. And go for the guy that, isn't as sexy of a name, but could maybe give us that upside that he hasn't shown yet. Yeah. And it panned out. But at the end of the day, it was another classic Yankee move where it's almost like Cashman gets a pass because of certain moves he's made over the last few years that have canceled out some of the really bad ones. But in all, if DJ played at a lower level of like what we would expect compared to Machado, DJ's name would be another one where we said, well, we passed on fucking Machado.
Oh, it would be atrocious.
It just so happened DJ became a star.
It would be atrocious.
Oddly enough, and this is like, I get it. Like, I remember when everybody was upset with the DJ signing, I was one of the people that didn't feel let down with DJ because let me tell you why.
Oh, I want to hear it.
For once, I was very like pessimistic with Machado to the Yankees. And like, for instance,
talent-wise or just his personality?
No. I loved him. I was like, I don't see them doing it. I was like, I just don't see them doing it. I was like, I don't know why. To me, it makes all the sense in the world. But I was just like, I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to, like, I don't know. I just got this feeling like they did the meeting and everything, whatever. But I was like, I don't know, man. Like, because my thing was, I was like, not only should they be in on him, but I was like, look at Bryce freaking Harper, man. Left-handed outfielder.
That's what Ruben just said.
He's going to abuse. Ruben just said that?
He just did a super chat, and Ruben said, man, if we would have got Machado and Harper and LeMahieu, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, I remember I was just looking at it, and I was like, look at Harper. Look at the abuse that he could do to that porch for years to come. And they're not even interested in the slightest. They're not saying anything because they can't legally. Like, they have to, like, they can't come out and say, we're not interested in said player because it manipulates the market or whatever. But I remember that all the talk was coming from Boris that the Yankees were in on Harper, and it turned out that it was all smoke.
Yeah.
When that came clear to me, I was like, wait, they're not even considering Harper. I was like, they're not considering Harper. They're definitely not going to consider Machado because, like, they should, but they're not even looking here. They're not going to look there. So I was just like, all right. So I was like, what are they going to do then? Like, I'm like, what are they going to do? And I never in a million years thought they were going to get DJ. I was like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're not going to get
that
these
was
guys.
that was a Jim
DJ
Hendry thing, because I think Jim
Yeah.
Hendry was the guy who actually signed him out of or they drafted him, and he knew who he was, and he was like, the guy could play everywhere. You find a spot for him, and he's going to hit here, especially with
Let me
right
ask you
field.
guys a
Like, he's going to
question,
hit
though.
really good here.
Like
Yeah, so I was just happy.
My biggest flaw, I'd say, doing this and doing the show is that I focus too much on the Yankees sometimes that I don't know enough about other guys. So, like, for me, for you guys, when you heard DJ was signed, like, yeah, I knew who he was, but did you know, like, did you have any idea the caliber of player, the potential he had? Were you like more like me, where I was like, yeah, I know him. I think he was an all-star once or twice leading it. I knew he had a couple gold gloves, and I was excited about that, but I wouldn't know enough about DJ to say, wow, they put him at the top of this lineup, and he could be someone with a lot of potential.
Well, the biggest problem that people do when it's a play from Colorado is they automatically go to the splits. And that's the stupidest thing to do. They do it with Trevor Story. He can't hit nowhere else if he goes. He's a 210 hitter, blah, blah, blah. But with him, when they
look at Arenado.
look at Arenado, And any of the good hitters are going to hit anywhere. I mean, that's all there is to it. And
Sure.
DJ LeMahieu, I remember when they got him, my hope was that he could play all over the infield. He could do that job well, and he could hit above 270.
Yeah,
That was like damn, that'll be a good signing if that
He
happens.
certainly exceeded your expectations.
Well
at
more,
least his first
way
couple
more.
years.
Yeah, I remember, like, again, I was actually excited because I didn't know what they were going to do. So when he was announced, I was like, oh shit, we got DJ LeMahieu. I was like, all right, we did something. So, but yeah, I knew a little bit about him just because I remember the first time that he got to the All-Star game. Oh God, what year?
It was a few years.
It was a few years before we got him, but I remember, like, he kind of got put on my radar then because I just remember seeing him in the All-Star game, and I was like, who the?
That's
fuck?
what I remember too.
I was with the McGregor. So I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I was like, who is this guy? So then, like, I went, like, down the rabbit hole, like, looking at his stats, and I was just like, this guy's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, they never talk about him. I was like, he's not on Sports Center. He doesn't get any shine on MLB Network.
Talent.
And then I started realizing that. I was like, oh, he's quiet. It's
Dude,
like,
You're
he's
probably
not,
talking
like,
about 2017.
2017.
It probably
right?
was. It probably was
2017. The year before that, he won the batting title.
Wait, 17 was the year that Judge won the home run derby.
Yes.
Okay, that was the year.
Then it
That
was
was the year.
He went to
That
the
was the
All-Star
year.
game that he hit 310
That
that
was the
year.
year.
But the year previous, he won the batting title, 349, 349.
Which I didn't even know. When I went back in the rabbit hole, it was like, oh, this guy won a fucking batting title.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, wait, who is this guy? But again, never in a million years thought we would get him. So when we got him, my question was, like, I was excited, but I was like, where are they going to play him? Because initially they didn't have a position for him.
If we're going to evaluate DJ, I think it's only fair to leave out last year. He clearly wasn't healthy.
He was injured.
All year.
He was hurt.
Injured and whatever. I'll ask this question, trying to eliminate last year in our minds as making us biased. Do you think we've seen the best of DJ LeMahieu, or do you think there's more to come?
No, we've seen the best of him.
You
But
think so?
but
he
he
still
could
be a
return to
great
that level.
player.
He could still return to that
Okay.
level. Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah, I think
for a couple of more
below
years.
it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I don't think
hell
we saw that. I don't think we saw the end of
Francis,
the best.
I don't mean to cut
I
you
think
off.
we saw the highest.
I don't mean to cut you
Okay.
off, but can you talk about what the JT dude, Julian? He mentioned it on a tweet, and Francis was like, hell yeah, it was like what, 280, 275,
Yeah,
22 homers.
Yeah,
I
Julian.
take that in a
80
heartbeat.
RBIs.
Julian tweeted, he was like, if DJ LeMahieu had a season where he hit 22 home runs, 70 RBIs, and had an OPS over 800, would you consider that a good
That's
year?
a fucking great year.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I responded and I was like, with DJ LeMahieu, I was like, in my opinion, with DJ, batting average matters. So give me his average also.
Right.
He was like 285. I was like,
Hell
fuck yeah, that's a great year.
The-
He's
Can
like
you imagine?
285, 20 plus bombs, 70 RBIs, and an OPS over 800.
And that guarantees you Judge having 100 plus RBIs, Stanton
And
probably
probably-
right there with them.
and
'cause you got
probably
table
batting,
setters.
and Judge probably batting almost 300.
Of course.
Can you imagine the
If
difference that
DJ's
lineup
at
would be?
285, yeah.
Go ahead, Arby.
No, I was just gonna say, Pete, you stole the words out of my mouth. Can you imagine the difference of this lineup if
Oh,
DJ had that kind of stats?
Well,
This
yeah,
lineup
because
needs a table setter, not Anthony Rizzo batting
listen,
leadoff.
there's two things with
Exactly.
DJ LeMahieu that makes it unfair to really evaluate him when he's in this lineup. The first thing is that he's such a table setter, right?
Mhm.
He's beyond table setter,
Facts.
right?
Yeah.
Facts,
all
facts.
year round. How many times did you hear people say, when DJ gets right, this lineup will get right?
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's something that you can't just replace with anybody. And so that's one thing that's unfair because a lot's relying on him at the top of the lineup. The second thing is so much of that, and of course it kind of goes hand in hand, is that it depends on what the guys around him are doing.
Yeah.
And when you have a lineup like the Yankees have, and he's at the top, and not only is he not producing, but the guys around him aren't producing, it makes DJ look 10 times worse.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
so it's like
He caught a lot of heat.
it's
You're
unfair,
right.
but you know what? I think he loves it. I think he fucking wants that. I think he wants to
Yeah.
go out there and say, "I start this lineup and they finish it."
He's
for
a
me."
DJ
And that's
LeMahieu's
it.
he's a ball player. That's all there is.
That's it.
He,
He is.
he goes
He
he
is.
goes to the ballpark. He plays baseball, and that's it. The hell with all
that's
the
one
That dude was
bullshit.
born
Forget
to
all
play
that.
baseball. That's
No
it.
doubt about it.
One thing I learned about him since coming to New York, obviously didn't know because he wasn't on the Yankees prior, was just like the cut of this guy's jib though. Like he is like he lives and dies with the game almost
That's
like
it.
his fans do.
Yeah.
Like you can see it. He's not as emotional, whatever. Like, yeah, obviously the whole machine thing or whatever, but it's like this guy wants results. He wants
no
to
doubt.
win.
He holds himself
was
very
like,
accountable too, which I love.
I was like, you know what? Like, I'm happy he came here because I'm like, damn, this guy must have really been struggling in Colorado. Because like,
Yeah, there's two types of leaders. There's guys that lead with their talent, and there's guys that lead with not just their talent but their emotion. And it's tough for us
Vocally, yeah.
Yankee fans to really see it because we're not used to having a quiet leader like that.
Right.
But DJ cuts all the bullshit. He doesn't care about anything but producing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying other guys don't, other leaders don't, but they're a little more emotional, especially when it comes to New York. Even Jeter being so conservative and like watching what he said, he'd be the first guy to be pumping his fist out
Oh
there.
yeah, of
or
course,
yeah.
all the time.
Making a huge play and getting pumped up. DJ LeMahieu
First guy
could
jumping
fucking-
over the railing when something big happened.
DJ LeMahieu could go balls out, lay out for a ball, full air to win the World Series, catch it and win the World Series, and he'd maybe smile.
Yeah,
And then
maybe
and that'd be it.
Maybe
You know? And
Yeah.
maybe jump
And
up.
And that's
yeah, I
that's the
think
issue
you really.
with our lineup. That's where we're lacking.
Mm.
We don't
Yeah.
have enough of those guys.
Yeah.
Sure.
But that's
It's like
where
what
that.
Pete said earlier. Put me in this position. I'm a ball out for you. I don't care where you put me at. Now is
Yeah.
oh no, I want to get dirty. My nails, you know,
Yeah.
I want to die. No, that's the issue with us.
Well, but that's again, we've been, not to beat a dead horse, but we've been saying this forever, man. That's where having a dog like Carlos Correa really shifts the whole sentiment and the
Listen.
whole vibe.
Listen.
Did you
give me
say?
Correa.
Did you say Carlos
Give-
Correa? Oh, let's take a look at him.
Listen, give me a bunch of dogs, all right? Give me Contreras behind the plate. Give me Correa in the short.
Oh yeah.
If we make those moves, I'm all right with Rizzo at first. Give me
Yeah.
those dogs.
Oh, hell
that wanna
yeah, of
play,
course.
That wants to win. But
Listen,
these
Rizzo's a
pretty
champ.
boys.
Rizzo's a champ.
He wants
I'm
to
gonna-
come back. Like, come on.
Rizzo's a champ. I'm not against Rizzo. I know it's been sounding like that, whatever, because I keep saying, because I want it to be heard.
Well, it's
I
because who's
prefer-
available too.
Exactly. I prefer Matt Olson or Freeman, but Olson. Out of all three of them, I'd rather Olson. Why? He's cheaper right now and he's younger. That is my rationale. But that doesn't mean that I'm gonna cry on opening day if Anthony Rizzo's my starting first baseman.
No.
No. As long as it's not Luke Voigt and it's
Thank
one
you.
of those
Oh
three,
my God,
I'm
that would be a
cool.
nightmare if it's
Not
Luke Voigt.
Luke Voigt, not
Not
DJ
Luke Voigt.
LeMahieu.
And that's not even a knock on Luke Voigt.
No, it's not. I like
We
Luke
love
Voigt.
Voigt.
I like
We
Luke
love
Voigt.
Voigt.
Like, I love him.
He's just
He
not
has
your, He's not
passion.
your first baseman in a World Series caliber team.
No.
That's it.
Listen,
I
Luke
just want a
Voigt.
confident. I just want a confident first baseman. The last one we had was Teixeira in 09.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at the difference. What happened?
Bro,
Rizzo said it to Odor. Just throw me the ball.
Throw me the damn
Throw
ball.
me the
Bro,
ball, and I got it.
confident first baseman. He's the last real first baseman this team's ever had.
Exactly.
he
Thank
is.
you.
And
Thank
go
you.
back,
Because we've
go
been
back
playing.
to every year since at least the late 90s, I guess.
No, we've been playing jokes since since.
Just think
Teixeira.
about every Yankee World Series team. You can name a first baseman who was like the middle of that fucking lineup. Tino Martinez, Jason Giambi. Right? Giambi was
Giambi. Yeah, first base.
right?
Yeah.
In the early 2000s, like one of those World Series, right? He was there.
Yeah.
Fucking Mark Teixeira. You always had a guy there. And then what was Chris Carter a couple years?
Yeah, it's a
Like
joke what the
fucking
Yankees have done
Nick
recently.
Johnson came out of retirement after a couple years.
By the way, for Hideki Matsui.
Yeah.
Greg.
Think about that.
Greg Bird.
Greg
Greg
Bird.
Bird.
Oh my God.
Let's get
Greg
to
Bird.
a couple of more stupid, but I want to stay on Correa, and I'm sure fans are going to want to hear more about him. But L.I. Yanking says, I'm trading Clay Holmes attached to Aroldis Chapman to get money off the books, to get
Okay,
better
no.
prospects. We got prospects that do
No, no,
that.
hold
Clay
on,
Holmes
hold
getting
on.
traded?
Hold on,
Wait,
hold
what's
on.
Clay
What
Holmes
did Clay
getting
Holmes
paid?
do?
No,
Nothing.
but can I tell? But this is what I see. I see
Get a
his
pennies.
sentiment. I see what he's saying. He's saying I would trade him because I'm trying to get the bigger plays, getting Aroldis Chapman off the books. Here's the thing: you don't need to trade Clay Holmes
Exactly. Got
to get
prospects
Chapman
do
off
that.
the books. First of all,
There's
most
plenty of
teams,
teams that would take Chapman.
most
No
teams,
doubt.
most teams aren't going to want Clay Holmes and Chapman's money. Just they're not going to do that. Remember,
Right.
Clay Holmes is already MLB. He's already making more money.
Exactly.
If you're going to move Chapman, what you do is you attach a mid-level prospect to him.
Correct.
And you send him to a team that needs. Trust me,
But
I was.
Francis. But
Yeah.
here's the problem with Chapman though. He has a no trade clause, and I believe is only to the West Coast.
Trade him to the
he
West
has
Coast.
he has a-
Trade him to the Giants. You don't think the Giants will want him?
Oh,
bro. But
oh,
it's so there's so many people who would still remember the Dodgers
there's
still
teams that
haven't
want him.
re-signed. Have they re-signed Kenley Jansen yet? No.
no.
Right.
There's trust me, there's teams over there that are looking for bullpen help who
Oh,
would
yeah,
take
I
a
agree.
flyer on Chapman because they know that Chapman's struggles have a lot to do with the fact that he pitches over here in the
I
AL
also
East.
think the Angels
And
will
this
want
is-
him. The
This is
Angels
not
would
an
want
easy
him.
division. Of course, the Angels would take.
Yeah,
Plus-
so there's a lot of
there's
teams
plenty,
that will
there's
take him.
plenty
That's
of
not the
options.
hard part.
No, the
Yeah,
open
but we don't need to trade Holmes though at all.
the hard part to that is Cashman seeing that Chapman should be moved.
And I'm gonna give Cashman some credit here. Holmes was a hell of a deal. You don't move that.
Oh my
you don't,
God.
Yes.
You don't
No,
move
beautiful.
that.
That was
So-
One of those
masterful.
pieces that
That was
No,
masterful.
no
That
doubt
was,
about
that
it.
was masterful.
I still remember that
we
one.
gave him credit for
well,
that.
I
We give him
remember that
credit
one
for that.
so closely too because I got a lot of friends that know a lot about the Pirates, and I remember I was like, before I say anything about, let me ask about him. And the one dude, he said flat, he said, Pete, you guys are getting the guy. If this guy throws strikes and he works on a sequence, he's elite. I said, get the frig out of here. He goes, Pete, the guy's elite. I said, okay, shit, let's see. But Tyler also says, Suzuki, Seiya Suzuki, Carlos Correa, Olsen, a pitcher like Rodon, VR as a Yankee fan would deserve nothing but the best. Hal needs to pony up. I mean, that would be a great offseason
you
if
guys-
somehow we
can you-
finish that way.
All
That's a
right,
dream. That's a dream offseason.
Can you guys sell me on Rodon? I hate to be that guy.
Okay, I'm gonna sell you on him. You want to
But
know?
I'm not
Here it goes. You ready?
100% sold on
You
him.
ready?
Yes, please.
He's an improvement on the project that Cashman loves to do. He's a higher upside project on your Tyones and your Klubers.
Low
Because
risk,
if the
high
guy's
reward.
he's he's unbelievably good. But he's not going to be healthy.
But again, you're
That's-
just,
but that-
you're just
that's
it's a
my
question
thing.
mark. It's another
That's
question.
what I'm
You
saying.
can't do
Pete.
that.
I know that when he's healthy, he's fucking lights out. He's box off. I know that. But the issue is that we know he's not going to be healthy.
He's not going
So
to be healthy.
I'm like, my whole thing is like, sell me on why I should be down for paying
It
the
makes
guy
no sense.
knowing he's gonna get
You
hurt.
don't.
And we already have Tyone.
That's
hurt.
why.
But
And
we already
have
got
Severino.
Severino,
who's gonna
exactly.
be like that's all that's on my
You
head
don't
mind
build
right now.
World Series teams by replacing question marks with question marks.
And hope.
You don't.
That's-
With more
I always
expen-
say that
no,
all
no,
the
no,
time.
But
You
more
don't do it with hope.
More expensive, question marks.
A shinier question mark.
Yeah, it's
Correct.
like I don't know. Like I get it. So many Yankee fans want Rodon. I'm not trying to shoot you guys down because I want you
He's
guys
a good player.
to want whoever you guys want. But I don't know, man. I'm just not there.
That is why them letting Robbie Ray sign to Seattle. I'm telling you right now, that's gonna bite them in the ass.
Oh, of course
Let
it
me
is.
tell you something, RB.
I'm sick of talking about that.
100% because
Oh
we
my
said
God.
it.
I've been eating this alive
Look,
for
the
the
longest.
longest.
The money made like I'm not even a huge Robbie Ray guy, right?
It's a steal.
What?
It's a
But
steal.
for that price,
not only did he come off Cy Young, he's a reliable guy you know is going to take the ball every fifth day. He's going to give you consistent starts. And then you add in the money, and it's like, what?
Chris, I've been big on
in the conversation.
I've been big on
Keep
Robbie
imagine-
Ray for years and years and
Damn.
years, and the Yankees came close to acquiring him 2 different times. I made the most valuable points about getting Robbie Ray. The first one was you could have 500 strikeouts between him and Cole at the top of the rotation.
Yeah.
That would
Exactly.
actually happen if they stayed healthy. That would happen.
Absolutely.
He has the greatest
Easily.
K-9 rate of all time in Major League Baseball history. The Yankees need that. And 2, what I said, that would be 3, he's going to give up home runs. I heard people, he's going to give up home runs. Anywhere he goes, he's a fastball pitcher. Cole does it.
Yes.
They're going to
Cole
give home
gives
runs up.
Cole gives
Cole
up
gives
home
up way
runs.
too many.
But here's
big
my
home
thing.
runs.
If his ERA even went to 3.7, he's still worth the $23 million if he gives you 175 innings.
Yes.
It's insanity not to do that
Yes.
deal.
Bro, it's
And here's
23
why.
It's 23
I
million.
hope
and
he
I don't,
does friggin' terrific.
I don't
in
think.
Seattle.
No, he's gonna eat. He's gonna eat over there.
And here's
you
why.
think he was good this year? He's gonna eat in Seattle, bro.
Here's
And here's
why
another
he's still-
thing. That whole story that came out, whoever reported it about Robbie Ray not wanting to pitch in New York,
That's bullshit.
That's garbage.
That's Yankee
garbage.
propaganda.
Pete, you said it.
That's
you
Yankee
said it, Pete.
propaganda.
Pete, you
Because
said
it was a
couple
Yankee
years
guy
ago.
who said it.
I forgot who it was, but Pete, you said a
it.
couple of years ago that Robbie Ray wanted to pitch in New York.
He said it. He said it in an
He
interview.
said it.
And here's
So now all of
why.
a sudden he doesn't want to pitch in New York. All of a sudden,
No, that's
come on.
Yankee propaganda bullshit that they've sold on every single fan in this fan base.
And
And
here's
how much
why
of a
his
steal? How much of a steal that would have been? We signed Robbie Ray
Oh,
and
my
we took him
God.
away from Toronto.
Well, listen, here's why, even if his ERA jumped up to 3.7, why it still makes sense. Let me ask you a question. Who's the Yankees' number 2 right now?
Nobody. Montgomery. Hopefully.
Montgomery.
Hopefully
I
he
mean,
improves.
you-
And I
no,
like Monty.
I mean,
I like Monty.
There's the
who
pipe
do they
dreams.
want? Who do they want?
There's
Who
the
do they
pipe
want?
dreams that
Severino?
they think
When's the last time he's
Severino is
pitched a
going to
full
be that
season?
guy.
I
Thank
keep telling
you.
people
Could
you
he
cannot
be?
rely.
Could he be? Could he be? Fucking 100%.
Listen,
But here's the
This
issue.
potential
dude has
poten-
potential throughout his fucking
potential
whole body.
wise, we saw Severino freaking pitch into an under 3. We know it's in there.
He can be
But-
dominant.
But health wise, now
He's
it's
a
about
fucking big question
Francis.
mark.
now it's about health.
That's the issue. That's
It's
what I'm
about
saying.
health. We already got 2 guys, Tyone and Severino.
See ya.
2 out of the 5.
Tion's also not starting.
That's
this
what I'm
season,
saying.
so-
But we have 2 out of the 5 already who are
And-
guaranteed
and-
rotation spots who are big question marks.
And the
How can we
only
invest
guy
on
who's
another
not
one?
is Montgomery. And the second you move him above a 4 starter, you have a fucking problem.
You're fucked up.
Hey,
Montgomery is the best number 4 starter
Best 4 or 5 guy in baseball.
in baseball.
Listen.
I'm telling you, as a
Yeah,
number 4,
Monty's
he's
terrific.
fucking great.
100%.
Monty's terrific. He's very underrated. He's underrated.
When he's number 2 or 3, God love
Nope,
him.
you
I
have a
don't know.
problem.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
like, bro, but this is it. This is it, right? See, the conversation that we're having, this has to be the conversation that's being had in the Yankees war room.
It's not.
And that's pushing them to say, dude, we need to grab Sean Manaea. It doesn't make it makes all the sense
a little
in the world.
glimpse of this conversation was being had, Robbie Ray would be a Yankee right now.
Oh my God.
No,
It's
it's
funny.
true.
I was
It's
telling
true.
these guys
because
you
23
guys know.
million is nothing.
It's a steal.
Bro,
They-
I was
They were going to offer Verlander 25.
Francis.
Oh,
What did you?
isn't Verlander's getting more than that?
Yeah, he's getting more than
Verlander's
that.
making more money.
Yeah, he's more than that. Francis, you told
wait.
me. Remember,
No,
you told
Thor
me
got
early
21.
on. You were like Pete. He's gonna get a lot more than you think. And then when it came, I said 23 million. I said, what the fuck
Yeah.
was this team doing?
No. See, so here's the thing, right?
Asleep at the wheel.
The reason I was saying he was going to get a lot more than you think is because that's what I mean.
Everybody
not just
else
me.
was.
I said it, but even all the
course.
big time like baseball, everybody was like, he's going to get paid. He was expected to net between 25 and 27 million dollars a year,
Yep.
and that was considered fair. But some people said they could see him signing for 30 million a year. They're like, Garrett Cole gets 36. Robbie Ray just came off a Cy Young. If a team is desperate enough, they might give him 30 mil a year. I was like, I could see it happening depending, if the Angels get frisky and they want to go out there and do it, I could see it. And then Seattle just came in and scooped
out
him
of
up for
nowhere.
23.
It was just like, oh, he
23.
signed with Seattle for a bag of donuts. Oh, okay, nice.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of because I was actually looking into that contract right before the lockout. There's a lot of
Is there a lot of
interesting
incentives
stuff
in there?
There's tons of incentives, but there's a lot of like other interesting stuff that like kind of made me see, okay, like if I'm Robbie Ray, like, yeah, this is super enticing. Like, yeah, I don't want to like I don't want to misquote anything, but like Seattle, I'll give them the credit. They know how to put a deal together. It was really nice. When I saw it, I was like, shit, man, like it's 23 mil a year, but it was a good deal. A lot of perks and shit too.
And who also knows if Robbie Ray wanted to be the ace of a team, not second fiddle to Cole.
Mm-hmm. There was an article about that too, saying that he did kind of want to continue to be like the guy, but it's not. It still doesn't shoot down. It still doesn't shoot down him coming to the Yankees.
Means
that's
everything.
what I'm saying.
The money means
saying.
everything.
Like,
nobody in this room would have predicted Scherzer to the Mets. Guess what got him there? $40 million a year.
Money.
Yeah, and like, what guy is sitting there going, you know what? I just won Cy Young. I need to be the leader. No, they're sitting there saying, okay, the next thing I need in my life is a World Series.
Yep.
And that's
the question. The question was like, I think the question in the article was like, do you feel like you need to be the ace of your next team? And it was just like, his response was like, it was very humble. It was just like, I feel like I'm an ace kind of thing. Like, I feel like I'm an ace. Like wherever I go, like I feel like I'm that kind of guy.
I mean, on the Yankees,
he's 100%.
Would we not
he's
consider him an ace?
100% right. No, he's 100% right. See, here's the thing though, right? You want to win a World Series, or like Cashman says, we don't worry about World Series. We worry about World Series, plural.
Oh, please.
Then you need more than what you got right now. It's not even close.
Oh, it's not
like
even,
Garrett
not
Cole
close at all.
Listen, Garrett Cole, great. Like we said, great signing. Absolutely had to happen. If I go back in time, how many times do I do that deal? 10 out of 10 times I do the deal.
Of course.
10 out of 10.
Of course.
But he cannot do it alone. There's ridiculous amounts of pressure on him because he is literally the end-all be-all in the rotation.
In this day and age too in baseball, you're not doing it with just one guy.
No.
But like, here's the
even
thing.
if they pitch 3 games of a 7-game series,
you're not doing it.
Francis,
here's where
why did
Yankee
you think
fans...
them?
Sorry, Arby, you go.
No, I said that's the reason why. Why do you think the Mets went after super hard after Scherzer?
Yeah,
you couldn't trust Jacob.
100%, and Jacob DeGrom's the best in the game.
Exactly.
He's by far the best in the game.
Yeah,
the best in the game, and they went and got the help. Why? Because look, even DeGrom showed you this year, he's not above reproach. He can get injured, and guess what? DeGrom's getting older. He's in his 30s, and it's not going to be like this forever.
Here's where Yankee fans need to stop and just. It doesn't have to be as complicated as to be like, if the Yankees don't get a shortstop, they're not serious. If the Yankees don't get an outfielder, they're not serious. It starts and stops right here, the conversation. And that is, if you sit down and think logically and say, all we need is Garrett Cole, and the rest of the rotation could be question marks outside of our 4-5 starter in Jordan Montgomery. If you think if the management of the New York Yankees is sitting there looking at that and saying, yes, we are World Series caliber ready, you are fooling yourself.
No, yeah.
So it starts and stops there. So if you're not putting another guy in there that you're sure, you can't come out and say, well, we think Severino can be healthy and really.
No, and they will.
That's not a World Series ready team.
They will do it.
You don't care to be.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll make an easy point real quick. You have to have a 1-2. Name me the 2001 rotation for the Diamondbacks.
I was just about to say it.
Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling.
Who else was on it?
Who cares?
There you go. I think Miguel Batista was. I think.
Who gives a shit?
Honestly, who gives a shit?
That 1-2 was the filthiest you'll ever see.
That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Well,
You could win with that.
No, I think filthiest you'll ever see. I'll counter that with Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz.
Come on,
that's
not
pretty
even fair. That
was pretty disgusting.
Unfortunately, you just I was about to say, you just ruined my point because they didn't win, damn it.
I know.
95, the short season, yeah.
But there you go. I mean,
it wasn't better
because they didn't win.
How fucking good were we though? Like,
Bro, Tom Glavine still can't even announce a fucking. Smoltz can't even announce a Yankee
Oh
game
my god, I can't stand
because
him.
he's still bitter about it.
And I want to
He's
like
still
Smoltz.
fucking bitter.
He's
about
one of
it.
those guys. Like I want to like this dude, but I can't.
Yeah,
when I
you
listen
can't.
to him, like,
It's
oh,
crazy.
Come on,
I'll tell you
It's
what, if you
crazy
wanna
because
read
I
a
love
good
them
book-
I love them as a pitcher.
You want to
but
read
I
a good
can't
book?
stand him now.
Are you guys Messina fans?
Oh, I love
I love
him.
Messina and Glavine wrote a book together. It was fucking phenomenal. There was one story. It was just pretty cool, like with the Glavine stuff, just how consistent he was. But there was one story that I always remember, and it was Carl Pavano when he came back from one of his injuries. He actually got in a car accident. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt or something, and he fucked up his shoulder. And he never told the Yankees about it, and that's why when he went out to pitch, he blew his fucking arm out again because he didn't tell him. And Messina said he took him. I'm pretty sure it was Messina. He wasn't talking about anyone else or just watching it. I'm pretty sure Messina said he took him by his throat, put him up against his locker, and said, "You ever fucking do that to this team again, I'll kill you."
I love it.
I
That's
was
my
like,
man. It's an
wow.
Italian. Only an
I love it.
Italian.
Fucking beast.
Moose.
I love it.
Only an Italian would do that.
Chris,
That's Moose
Man, I'm
threatening
still
death. I'll
still
kill
to
you.
this day. Still to this
Going-
day, I feel so bad that we didn't win for Moose.
Oh, Moose
man,
is a
I
legend,
love Moose, man.
And France, this is why I told you that time. I was upset about that because I said CC Sabathia gets so much more credit than Mike Mussina does as a Yankee pitcher. And I said
Yeah.
CC's good, but he's overrated as a Yankee starting
Dude,
pitcher.
when Moose
And I
took that
stand
fucking
to
ball,
that.
what year was that? When he took the ball in the
It's
postseason.
that CC one. They
Oh,
give him,
03.
like,
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
03,
never
right?
gonna.
03.
Oh,
When
three
took
when they
that
faced the
ball
Marlins.
and told Joe Torre.
Oh, that was the best.
Bro,
He said,
that-
"You sit down." I
He
was
said,
like,
"You
"Oh,
sit
shit."
down." Yeah, he
see,
was
I
hot.
see that in Garrett Cole, and that's why I love Garrett Cole, right? But
Yeah.
I need more consistency from it.
Do you remember
And,
when
like,
Mike
gotta-
Mussina was the worst pitcher in the world, and then next year he wins 20 games and just dominates
Yes.
his last
It
year?
was his only 20 game
I-
winning season.
I always tell the story about the game. He gave up he gave up 2 home runs in a game against Boston in Fenway. And it might have been Yankee Stadium, I forgot. But Michael Kay is his best call of all time. I got to try to find this. He gives up the first one when Michael Kay does his, like, "Oh, see ya," blah, blah, right? Second time, no joke. Michael Kay said, "See ya," once the bat hit the ball. He said there's no joke. He goes like this. "And here's the 2-1 pitch. See ya!" Just like that. Once he hit the ball, he was pissed. Kay was pissed. You could tell he got angry about that shit. Another super chat here from Ruben.
Yeah, because
Ruben
that was
says,
back when Kay was actually a Yankee fan.
Yeah, now.
now he hates the team.
He said DJ was underwhelming at the time. This is in Colorado because he didn't have a ton of power and didn't walk a ton, but he always had the batting average. So I could definitely see that because people really care a lot about who's actually homer, and I never was that type of guy. But
Yeah, that's why I liked him though, because I didn't care. I not that I didn't care, but I remember when I went down the rabbit hole, I was just like, shit, man. But he's like, this guy's like a legit contact hitter, and like, there's not very many of those in the game right now because everybody wants to be power, and it seems like he doesn't give a shit.
No,
and
he
he's in
doesn't.
court, and I was like, and he's in Coors Field, and he doesn't give a shit about power.
he's going to stick to his game, and that's it. They're not ever going to change him.
I don't know. I just remember like, I was like, like I said, the Conor McGregor, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like he's in Coors Field and he's not trying to hit for power. He's just, he's like, I'm going to contact hit you to death,
That's
bro.
a guy
Like,
you want.
I was like,
That's
shit,
a guy
man,
you
this
want.
guy's cool. Like,
I'm gonna stick my neck out there on something, and I know Pete, you wanted to get back to him anyway. I gotta say, I really, in my heart, I'm usually pretty good with this stuff. Like I know when the Yankees have no chance. I just don't see Carlos Correa playing anywhere but in New York this year.
Wow.
wow.
I really feel it.
Chris,
That's a
I
big one,
really
Chris.
do, man.
I'm holding
Chris,
you to it. We're going to have to have SGR punch you in the face again if it doesn't
I'm
happen.
putting Arby underneath my name right there. I'll throw him under the bus if it
guys
doesn't
have-
happen. Be like,
you
Arby
guys-
fucking told me to say it.
Hey, listen, he DM'd me and then I said it.
Right.
No, listen,
Like
Pete.
it's match made to happen. Like, tell me the
Yeah.
teams right now that are in need of a shortstop.
Not like
Cubs.
the Yankees, man.
Angels,
Who could
Boston.
you?
They want to be creative. Yankees.
Oops.
Who else? That I
Yeah,
forgot. Oh, the Astros. If he goes back.
because who
The
else
Cubs,
wants to
I
win
don't,
as
I don't
much as
see him going
Carlos,
to the
too?
Cubs. I don't see him going to the Cubs.
No, I mean they said that there's interest there, but like, are you serious that the Cubs are going to spend that kind of money?
I could
They're letting
definitely
their guys walk.
If there's a team that I could sit here and say I could definitely see, it's
Boston.
the Angels.
Well,
I see
Boston,
Boston,
I'm
maybe.
telling you.
Boston
here-
maybe comes out of
The
nowhere.
Angels, yes. I think I've been saying it from the beginning though. Like I think it's either the Angels, us, or Detroit. Detroit is out of the question.
But
Texas is out of the. I put Texas in there too, but
But
Texas
here's
is out of
one
the
thing,
question.
right? People don't think about this enough. It's like, okay, let's evaluate Carlos Correa real quick. Not as I think he's a jerk off. I hate his guts. But let's just evaluate him as a competitor. Would you say he's a winner? He's a fucking competitor.
Yes. Not even,
Yeah, he's a winner.
It's not
He's
even
a
a
winner.
conversation. It's not even a
He's a winner.
conversation.
People don't take this into consideration, right? They say, oh, he's won X amount of rings. Who cares? He's not hungry. No. Here's the thing. Of course, guys who are truly competitive who haven't won a ring are hungry, especially a guy like Garrett Cole who's pretty close.
Yeah.
But guys who have won the ring already, that's
want
all
it
they
again.
fucking want.
That's all they want.
That's
There's nothing else to
all
play for.
They want.
That's what they want.
That's all they want. That's why he's not going to go to the Tigers. That's why he's not going to go to the Cubs right now if the Yankees put enough money in front of him. Because he sees New York and he sees a fucking World Series when he comes here.
But that's what I'm saying. Also, on top of that, it's not just winning, but this is for every player. And this still exists, even as bad as the Yankees have been and the organizational changes and everything. For an MLB player, and you look at the New York Yankees and you look at a chance to win as a Yankee, you're not just looking at winning a World Series. No,
it's
no.
more than just a World Series.
It's more than that. Like you literally will become a legend forever.
Oh, bro,
And for Carlos Correa, he's Puerto Rican. Like for him to come here, if he comes here and wins a ring, yo guys, I'm telling you, this guy, the videos when he goes back to Puerto Rico after winning that chip, you would think that he cured cancer worldwide or some shit.
Yep.
And maybe he will if he fucking wins a World Series here.
Yeah,
Can I be the Debbie Downer here?
Crazy.
I'm sorry to do it. You guys know how badly I want Correa on this team. I've had too many good people tell me the Yankees aren't putting up that contract, and I gotta believe it.
That's wild.
I gotta believe it.
But here, let me twist it around now. Out of the teams that I mentioned that are interested, that are in need of a shortstop, the Cubs already said, well, according to reports, they're not going to offer a 10-year contract. They're not interested in that. Can you see Boston offering 10 years? I don't know.
No.
Wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me.
I don't know.
But here's the
Bogarts.
Can I throw another name out there? The Mets. You never know. You never know. Don't say no that quickly.
Listen, Stevie Cohen spends $4 billion on paintings.
That's what I'm saying.
Wouldn't put it past them.
All I'm saying, look, do I think that'll happen? No. Would I be shocked if it happened? I'll come on here and say, doesn't blow me away.
I wouldn't say I was gonna say the Mets wouldn't blow me away, but like at that point, it's stupid. It honestly, as good as Correa is, as good as what they have is. To me, at that point, now it's just stupid. Now you're putting too much under one roof, and most of the times that shit doesn't work. But
the only reason why Carlos to the Mets, I don't see it happen at all. Even though Cohen can just shut me up and I say, "What? Hold my beer real quick." Correa right now, he said in the interviews that Francis sent us, right now in his career, he wants to play shortstop. Later on, he said he's more than willing to move to third. So right now, Lindor is playing short. So I don't know. I don't see that
then it's the Angels.
No, as good as friends, again, but this is what I'm saying. At this point, I think it's down to Yankees, Angels. Like I said, I've heard the Boston stuff. I don't see it.
Who would you pick out of Angels and Yankees?
If I'm Correa, obviously I pick the Yankees. But the thing is that the Yankees have to show up.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, they have to show up. You can't dance with them if they don't go to the dance.
And us as fans, we're sitting here saying, like the poll I put it, like we talked about on the Designated Spinners podcast today, that airs tomorrow, by the way, 5 p.m. We talked about that, and we said flat out, I put a poll out there, and all I simply asked was, would you want Correa? And every comment is, I wouldn't pay him this. I wouldn't pay him. All I asked was, would you want him? 29% of fans said no.
No, because they start talking as if they start talking in the person of Hal Steinbrenner.
Right.
Yes. And they're like somebody in the chat just did a little while ago. They're not going to pay Correa $300 million because they have to pay Judge.
No.
Yeah. Newsflash.
They can afford
Newsflash. They can afford Judge. They can afford Stanton. They can afford Cole. They can afford Correa. No, it's
Cashman and Howell are literally convincing this new group of fans here, hey, we're broke. We don't have enough money to pay players.
It's this guy.
I continuously, every single day, I'll be going back and forth. Yankees can afford any player that they want in this offseason. Plus, sign Judge.
And they got money coming off the book too. They got 40 plus million coming off next year.
They have a bunch of but on top of that,
that doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
No,
See, like this guy said it here, Daniel Venditti. It's him, Daniel Venditti. He said, "Forget the Yankees."
My good friend, Las Vegas.
He said Correa's not going to play for the Yankees because he was like they got to pay Judge. My man's, you're talking about an organization that nets $700 million in profit a year. Okay. Listen to Designated Spitters tomorrow, Daniel. I went down a list from an article of the net worth of some of the owners in the league. Some of the owners in this major
You'll
league
actually be shocked by this, by the way, for some of the teams that don't pay and how much money they have.
Exactly. So please go watch tomorrow's episode because it's good. You'll be surprised to know that there are MLB owners who aren't worth what the Yankees net annually as a team. There are MLB owners, they own teams, which means that the New York Yankees make enough money that they could own and operate another team in the same league that they play in if they wanted to. That's the kind of money that this team makes.
Can I just make a point? I hate being the guy, and I'm not going to do it. I'm all about knowing that this is a business and you got to be smart. And I'm not 100%. Sitting here. Yep. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Hal Steinbrenner should spend more money just because he makes more.
Right.
However, I said this last time we went live. I've been saying it on the NyynewsTV podcast over and over again. You had two choices going into this year if you want to prove to your fan base that you want to win. The first choice would be to find a GM who can do his job more efficiently with less money, just like the guy in Tampa. Now, if that is not an option for you, if you're going to keep him, there's only one other option to prove that you want to win.
Play to his strength.
Open up the fucking checkbook.
Exactly.
Do what you know you can to compensate for his lack of producing for you the way you need him to within a budget. Listen. So if you pass on option one, you better fucking show me option two. Anything less than that, you're proving to me that you just don't care.
Chris, Hal knows that. He knows.
I know he knows it.
Outbid everybody. He knows he can outbid anybody.
Brian Cashman, listen. As quiet as it's kept, yes, Steve Cohen is worth almost $16 billion.
Right.
Quiet
as
it's kept. The Yankees aren't worth much less. I know it seems like it because of what's reported by Forbes and shit like that or whatever. But make no freaking mistake about it. There is not a chance in hell that the Yankees should ever be outbid money-wise for any player on God's green earth.
No.
This team practically prints money. I guarantee you that as much money that Steve Cohen spent this offseason, the Mets still aren't going to profit the way the Yankees are in 2022.
You want to know
something? You don't think Hal thinks of that? Like
he knows. He
knows that. He's an economics guy.
He knows.
He's all about numbers.
But what he needs to be wary of is that, and economics will tell you this. Listen, you've been the big player. You've been the big player in New York City for quite a while now.
It'll fall off.
The times are a changing, and no one is unbreakable. No one's bulletproof in this regard. Steve Cohen is over there in Queens. Steve Cohen is spending money. The Mets are getting better. I'm not saying that they're winning the World Series in 2022. I think with all the moves they made, it's a great team. Lot looks good on paper. I still don't personally put them as favorites for the World Series. I still think there's a lot of teams ahead of them.
I think there's teams in the division that are really good. That's the best thing in the world.
He's showing that he's trying to do his best to get there.
But that's the key. That's the key right there, because you know what Mets fans know? Mets fans know how good the Braves are. They know that the Phillies are decent. They know that Miami. They know that Miami's not far off. They know. They're not stupid. They know, but they also know that that's not an excuse for their owner not to spend. So when they see their owner spending and believing the way that they believe, that 100%. Creates buy-in. That creates buy-in. So right now, I'll tell you right now, a ticket to a Mets game. I'm gonna tell you right now, tickets for Mets opening day and tickets for Yankees opening day right now, the hotter ticket right now is for the Mets. And you haven't been able to say that. You haven't been able to say that for years. Not in my lifetime. I don't remember a time in my lifetime where the Mets, and even when the Yankees were in their sucky DK rebuilding years or whatever, I still can't remember a year where the Mets had a hotter opening day ticket than the Yankees. But as it stands right now, The hotter ticket is for the Mets.
Well,
And if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, that's something to be wary of.
Francis, the moment Steve Cohen bought the team, I quickly tweeted, Steve Cohen will be the next George Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
And Hal will be
he
just
said he
fine
wanted
with
to
that.
be. He said he wanted to be.
He said,
Let's be-
and Hal
let's be
Steinbrenner
fair.
will just be fine with that. Which is
Let's be fair for a second. As much as we all love George as the owner, as great as he was hands-on. It was his fucking team. Let's also be fair and say that he was also a fucking emotional wreck.
He was.
Yeah.
He made a
Like,
lot of
he never
mistakes.
knew.
He was a
And-
fan.
No.
He was
And
a
again, in
legitimate fan.
In this day and age in baseball, things have changed a lot since then.
Yeah.
And we also can't have that either. Like, a lot of people want him back. I'm sure this team would be better off than not if he were still alive and running it. But he was also a little bit of a fucking mental case,
yeah,
right?
100%.
No
So,
doubt.
like, but here's the problem. And again, we talked about, like, how the Yankees can look at the rotation and say, yeah, Garrett Cole's all we need. No, that's not realistic. I say this over and over again. It's like going into this season, all we've talked about was the pool for the free agency of the shortstops. And it's like, at that point, when you're trying to put together the best possible team, you make a hierarchy of all the available shortstops. You put a list together and you say, who do I want most? Right? And if you are truly just all in about winning, nothing stops you from getting that unless the player says no.
Yeah.
And you're fucking out of your mind if you're going to sit here and tell me Carlos Correa isn't number one.
No doubt
Right?
about it.
He's
no doubt
number
about it.
one.
And
He's
I'm
number
sorry,
one.
you're
It's
you're kind of a little out of your mind. I'm not saying there can't be arguments for this. That Trevor Story is anything more than third on that list of when you're going into the offseason. Right? Maybe
No,
you can,
100%.
No, I
Right?
agree with you. I
so
agree
now
with you.
we got Seager's gone. Seager's off the
You
team.
can make.
Well, now
I mean,
we're
he
down
could be
to two.
fourth. In reality,
That's
I
what
think he
I'm
was
saying.
fourth.
Really?
I think
Because
he was-
Simeon, I think people had Simeon ahead of
personally-
him.
Yeah, I agree with Pete.
So there you go,
I had
right?
Simeon ahead of him.
So why are you telling me now the number one is still available, and now we'll say four for my argument's sake, right?
Still damn
We'll
good.
say
Still an
Story's
improvement.
four.
Still a major improvement.
Still an improvement, but why are you sitting here, and why does it feel like as a Yankee fan, Trevor Story's going to happen more than Carlos Correa? Why?
Because of what we've been
Why?
fed. Because of what the media has fed us. What the beat writers have fed us. It's that
And
simple.
that's what they
But
want.
don't you
That's
see
what
it
they
as a
want.
reality?
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It is reality. That's why I just told you they're not going to get him. That's exactly why I'm telling you I don't believe they're going to get him. But here's the thing, too. The thing is, too, if you look back, like people, I agree with you 100% on Steinbrenner. 100. I love George Steinbrenner. I wish he said something very good one time.
I wish
he
he
said,
rubbed off on Hal a little bit.
That's all I wish. And Hank did. Hank was a lot like his father.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he
Yes.
got sick and he couldn't do a lot of the stuff with the Yankees.
Yeah, we have
But
a theory about that.
I actually got a lot of good stories. The guy coming up that we're gonna have on was his close friend. Close friend. I got a picture. Let me not share it yet. I'll share it though. He was just at his wake. They just had Hank's wake. He was there with. I got pictures of him with
Really?
Hal and everybody.
Wow.
But I'm gonna get him on the show to tell some stories of him and Hank. Hilarious stuff. But George said something. He said something along the lines when they talked to him about the tradition of the Yankees, and he said traditions need to be cherished. And I believe this is the one thing that bothers me so much about Hal. It
And
wasn't
honored.
hard. It wasn't hard to be who your dad was. And you could make the significant difference of saying, I'm not fully like him, but I understood where he stood and what this team meant to him. That's why there's certain things I'll continue on with. When the New York Yankees have a chance to get Manny Machado, when they have a chance to get Max Scherzer, when they got a chance to get the top guys in this league, the New York Yankees should be the guy getting the top guy in the league. It is the reason why Corbin was likely coming to the Yankees, according to everybody. It's the reason why Seager or Correa was going to the Yankees, according to everybody. It's the reason why Machado was coming to the Yankees, according to everybody. Same thing with Harper. Like you said, it looked like Boris was the only guy talking about it, but everybody said, it's possible. Don't count out the Yankees. Because that is the tradition of the Yankees with Steinbrenner. And we don't have that no more.
You hit it on the head right here, and I'll say this, and I think this to me is the heart and soul of the issues, the whatever is corrupt within the Yankee organization right now, whatever that feeling is that just doesn't feel right, is this. When George was alive, whose team was this? I'm not saying who was the owner. I'm asking whose team was it? When George was alive,
The
whose team?
fans.
No. But who?
George.
It was George's
George.
fucking
It was George's
team, right?
team.
Yeah.
That's why he cherished the traditions. That's why he went out and spent the money. It was his team. When George died, whose team did it become?
Cashman's the analytic
It's
department.
Cashman's.
Yeah,
It's Cashman's team.
Right.
Does Cashman control the pay? Does Cashman control the checkbook?
No.
Nope.
No. So you have a guy whose team this is being handcuffed, and I'm not saying that gives him is an excuse, because we've seen guys go out and do it efficiently. But Cashman has forever been a guy who can be a GM for this team with an open fucking blank checkbook, right?
But that's it. That's the
and
point.
now he's being asked to. This is his team now. That's why Hal still has him here, because Hal knows he can't do this without someone who his dad trusted forever. But he doesn't have the control of the budget.
No, but
so
this
now it's like you're asking him to do something he's never done before.
And that, my friend, right there, that's the key. Like, look, I've been a proponent, or just vocal about, when Brian Cashman screws up, misses out on a trade and things like that. That, when it comes to trades and prospect hugging, that's a knock on Cashman. But when we're talking about signings, guys,
It's not his problem.
I hate to break it to you. That's not on him. That's not on him. I truly believe, and this has nothing to do with the Yankees media propaganda machine, because they couldn't brainwash me if they tried. But I 100% believe that Cashman has brought the top players to Hal. Like, look, this guy's available. He probably wants to be a Yankee. I truly believe he's done it. Why? Because that's Cashman's MO. Why? Because he's made his bones signing the big fish, like signing the big guy, spending the money. That's how he's made his bones in the league. That's how he's earned the respect of the league. He's known around the league as a GM who can get that negotiation with that big guy and get that big contract done. The issue is what Chris just said. If he's being handcuffed and being told, yeah, no, we're not really looking at Machado, find something else, or Bryce Harper, he's nice, but yeah, I think we're set for the outfield right now. Like, Robbie Ray, good pitcher, whatever, but we're going to look for a little bit cheaper options on the starting rotation. If he's being told things like this, then you're asking him now to try and be what Chaim Bloom has been, and what Billy Bean has been, and what Epstein.
Not who he is.
That's just not
well,
him.
that's why Chris. You're right.
Not him.
Well, that's what Chris said.
Him.
Chris said flat out, if that was the case, then go get a GM who does that.
Which is 100% true.
Yeah.
Chris hit that nail on the head. You had two choices if you were Hal Steinbrenner this offseason. If you didn't want to spend, then you needed to transition, or maybe that's still on the table. Maybe that's why Boone has a deal and Cashman doesn't. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the outlook.
Piggyback on what you said. I agree. I'll blame this when it comes to spending is on Hal. Last offseason, I think it was Chris. I think Federico on your podcast. I think it was last year. He said that Cashman had a deal on the table. Lindor for Torres. Correct me if I'm wrong. He took it to Hal. Hal said no, because he's gonna ask $20 million for arbitration.
He did say that, and we were shocked to hear it. And let me tell you something about Federico. Federico wouldn't just
No. Yeah, we had Dan on too.
No.
We had Dan
on too. He's a great guy.
Out of all the relationships I made, Dan's one guy I really respect and trust. And he wouldn't have just said that. And he kind of saved that for our show. And we were pretty shocked to hear it. But
exactly. So would I.
It's just going back to everything.
See,
and here's where I rip Cashman, because I think he deserves to be ripped, because again, regardless of the situation he's in, he still has a job to do and he's not doing it well.
Correct.
Right?
He's still building a roster. He's still part of building that roster
it's
out.
Still him, and I still blame him for it. But here's the problem. If you're looking at it as a Yankee, in a Yankee point of view of still be the Yankees, but hey, you have to do it with this amount of money now and all that. That's why we're seeing so many deals of high risk, low risk, high reward. Guys like Kluber, because guess what? Even though Kluber's coming off injury, what did we all say? Kind of a sexy name, right? If Kluber stays healthy, he could be fucking dominant, right?
Yep.
It's been one after the other. Instead of really looking and soul searching for a guy who can really be a player on this team that can give you longevity, give you consistency, give you reliability, we're looking to still be the Yankees in some sense and say, fuck it, we're going to take this money instead of giving it to a guy who not a lot of people might know of, but can still be, a hidden gem like a Luke Voigt.
Yep.
Right? We're going to give more of this money to guys like Corey Kluber, who, hey, if he stays healthy, great. But if not, And that's the problem. It's like, if you're going to change how you run this organization by being handcuffed with a budget, you better change your philosophy. And I've said this from day one of this eye-opening moment where the Yankees finally decided to rebuild. Brian Cashman's legacy started in 2016 because that was the time when they looked at him and said, "This is your fucking team now. But hey, guess what? You don't have all the money you used to have.
Yep.
So show me you're a good GM."
Yeah.
And he hasn't done a good job.
He hasn't done that at all.
And it's not going to change.
A couple of points here. L.I. Yankee King, 2 super chats to get to. Then I want to bring something else up. L.I. Yankee King said, Yankees add Correa. They are still a 4th place team. I think if they add Correa, that's not the only thing they do. And I wouldn't.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Next thing, we have one more here from Tyler. Tyler says, Correa needs to be a Yankee, period. He is the best option out there, and the guy is completely box office. I think, we all agree on that. But Deep Patel said something that I want to cover too. When I went to the Italian American Baseball Foundation dinner, a lot of the people that I work for Major League Baseball said they do believe that the Yankees are going to spend money after the CBA, that it's been known around baseball that they want to wait to see what it was, because they were telling owners don't make moves and things like that until we know what the stuff is, and trying to push that. But here's my pushback on that. It's one of the things right there that Chris just said when Federico was on with him. Hal is very much about the money. There's no denying that. That's not some like, do we think he is? Do we don't? He wanted to lower the luxury tax. He voted to lower it. And some people go, well, maybe there was a reason behind. I think too many times we're trying to convince ourselves of who the guy is. I don't think this is the guy that's going to go out there anymore and spend all this money. I just don't. I'm on record. I've said it. I'll be the first person to come on and say I'm happy as shit if the Yankees spent $300+ million to get Correa. I'll be the first one saying this is the deal that I wanted. I didn't think it would. So happy I'm wrong. So happy what I reported was wrong. I'm very, very happy about it all. But I don't think I'm gonna be.
There's no way for me. It's hard for me to fathom that right off the bat. Cashman comes out, shortstop is a priority, repeatedly, and there's 6 all-star shortstops in the market, and you telling me,
Arby, what did I say? Arby, what did I say all offseason? What's the hardest thing to do this offseason?
What was the hardest thing to do?
Remember what I said all offseason? It is so hard to fail this offseason. There's so many options.
Is it possible?
Yeah. You could have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and have a good offseason. The Yankees haven't done jack shit. I have
no experience in GM, and I swear, if I was to be in that position this offseason, everybody would be calling me for GM of the year of the offseason. There's no way you can mess this up. You have, like you said, Pete, answers from options A through Z.
Well, let me do this.
No way.
To go ahead and get ready to start. We're about to hit the 2-hour mark here to start wrapping this chat up. I want to ask you guys a question. I know we already said that we think that a lot of us, I don't think Correa is going to sign. Chris thinks that the Yankees do get Correa, and he thinks that's the point that's going to happen. How do the Yankees sell their fan base if they get none of these guys? What is the sell?
That is where I was going to. Like, you can't come out, shortstop is our priority number 1, but come back and say, hey guys, we got you guys, Anderson Simmons. What are the fans gonna do? Show up still to the game?
I'm just saying, because there has there's always the conference and all. There got to be a sell. And what is the excuse gonna be? Well, we didn't want to go that high. You just said you had latitude. You got latitude. What was the latitude?
How much of a latitude?
What is the latitude?
Supposedly there was mixed reports.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if you're talking to us, friends, but we can't hear you.
I don't know if the reports that was out there was a while ago was true or not. That they were saying that Cashman was getting mixed signals from how much to spend, because they lowered the luxury tax for a reason, to spend. That's what Cashman was thinking. But supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, that now Cashman's getting mixed signals of how still wanted to be under the luxury tax and not spend as much. So okay. I don't know if that's true or not. But for
my bad, RB. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you go. Go ahead.
No, I was just testing my mic. My bad.
He was just doing a testing real quick.
What I was saying before was exactly what you were saying.
Better right now, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Really?
It sounds a lot better.
I don't know what
sounds
happened.
Real good right now.
It
I don't know
does.
what happened. I think I messed with something, and
You-
that's
you-
why you
whatever
couldn't hear
Whatever
me.
you did, you fixed it. Sounds really nice.
All right, cool. Well, listen, check it out. Oh shit! I think the whole time I might have been coming through the laptop instead of the mic. So this was here as a prop. Hey, it is
I
what
like
it is.
props. I like a good prop.
At the end of the live chat, I come through with the real mic. But look, what I was saying was that, listen, you can't, what Pete said, like, how do you sell the team? Well, it's like Cashman came out and said shortstop is a priority. Cashman also came out and said, obviously, I have some latitude, right? But you can't quantify what the latitude is because there's just no number put to that. But also, we have to remember, Hal Steinbrenner, as well as Cashman, came out in the middle of last season and said that right now, this is a player's problem.
That's right.
You cannot say that and then go to an off season and not change the personnel.
That's a great
There
point.
have to be changes, and that's why
He could get away with it though. That's the problem because the beat writers aren't going to report on it.
no, but then we'll fucking kill him because there's just no way.
Well, listen.
There's no way. Like, here's my thing, and this is why I'm optimistic. And I know, like, look, me and Pete, we got the perfect dynamic on DS. As Pete is like, he's like, listen, man, they're not gonna do it. He's like, I believe my guys. He's like, they're not gonna do it, and I'm like, I gotta hold on to hope that they do it because it's like, how do you say that? How do you say that and not spend? But that's a whole other conversation. Like, we could talk for 5 hours on that. How do you sell? Honestly, I know we've been joking about it, but say Andrelton Simmons is the guy. How the fuck do you sell that?
Yeah.
My thing is, let me tell you something about this fan base.
Andrelton Simmons, and I don't know who's starting pitcher.
This is not a knock on the whole fan base.
Guy.
If the Yankees go out there and they get Olsen, that'll be enough.
Hold on. Can I just say something?
This
might be controversial. I don't know. People might
Don't worry,
disagree.
NyynewsNews will be here.
The second they signed Aaron Boone back to a 3-year deal, 2-year with an option, they proved to us. And listen, I'm actually a Aaron Boone supporter.
Oh my god!
And not in a more recent sense. I'm more of like an Aaron Boone. I thought did a really good job his first couple years, and something obviously is fucked up. And I blame more of the upper management than I actually do Boone because I think they have their hands way too involved. In this team.
I've said that too. I just to be on record, because everybody thinks I can't stand Aaron Boone. I have nothing against Aaron Boone as a person. I hate Aaron Boone as the manager they're making him be.
And he's proved how much more could he have proven that he's just not the guy for the job than this year?
Oh, no doubt about it.
So the second they did this, I'm going to make this statement, and I believe it to be true. The Yankees aren't in the business of selling the fans anything anymore.
I agree.
Here's what Brian Cashman. Here's Brian Cashman has dug himself into such a deep hole now that there's only one way he gets himself out of it, and it's by making the right moves, even if they look bad, and actually finding something within it and having a team that wins. I'm not saying it's likely, but the only way he justifies anything, right? Because if he goes out and gets another manager and then they win, what does he say? You guys were right. I hired the wrong guy.
Yeah.
No, because he knows anyone he hires, he's still going to control. He's still going to be behind the scenes controlling it. So why not keep the same guy who he's been arguing is the guy so that if what he's doing finally pans out and wins, he can be the one to sit back and look at all of us and say, you were wrong. I was right. He is the guy. The guys I put on the field won you a World Series, and that's it. And that's his only way out of this thing. His way out is not by selling us. We all felt good when he made those moves in the
at the deadline,
the trade deadline and everything, right? We all felt good.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, they didn't win, so he's back to being a piece of shit to us.
Yeah.
The only way out of this for Brian Cashman is to strike gold somewhere.
Yeah, and this team wins.
It doesn't matter about selling the fan base anymore because he can go out and get everyone. And if that team doesn't mesh, we're going to sit here and say we have a GM who, might have spent all the money and whatever, wasn't good enough at his job to construct a World Series team.
And by the way, guys,
at the end of the day, it's all about just winning, and that's the only way he sells anything.
And by the way, they're already selling the fan base on something. They're selling them down the line. It's obvious. It's clear as day. Why do you think they're talking so much about Volpe now? Why do you think they're talking so much about Peraza
Absolutely.
now? They're basically already. I told you, if you
and we forget.
People
so
think I'm a
easily.
freaking conspiracy theorist. It's as obvious as
No.
that.
It's clear.
You
the
can
whole
see it.
Volpe thing.
Look happened with
it's
Boone.
clear.
You remember?
Look, he's
Boone,
already on.
We all
he's
said
already
Boone
doing
gotta go.
interviews. He's on a
Boone
press
gotta
run.
go. all the media came out. All the Yankee people. This guy's the best manager in baseball. Nobody fucking thinks that. Your guy's the only one saying it.
Yep.
Yeah, no. But the thing here's my thing again too. It's like, look, you can't not. It's like, yes, you can say like, oh, we're spending money, we're spending $200 million, and like, the team is not showing up or whatever. But it's like, to say what you said last year and not change the players that you called out and said were the reason that the team was bad. It's like, if they do that, then it's like, there's nothing else you can like say. And it's like, yeah, I get it that maybe they're not trying to sell the fans, but at the end of the day, like at one point or another, listen, Yankee Stadium started getting real hollow towards the end of last season.
Yes, it did.
Real hollow towards the end of the year.
Yes, it did.
That is the reason why
fans
I can't see them just staying the same or not making any moves, because the fans, well, us original fans that knows
we're not going anywhere.
You will see so many empty seats. I'm telling you right now.
We watch though. That's the bad thing. Because like they're still
in our hearts, we're not going anywhere.
Yes, Network.
No,
yes, Network.
Right.
Yes, Network is worth $4 billion because we fucking
Chris,
watch.
In our hearts, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But I'm not. I keep even on Twitter. I keep telling people, it's not fair for those people that are spending their hard-earned money and putting it in Hal's pockets, and Hal with a blank check, he knows he can do it, not giving us what we deserve as fans. Like, come on, you can't say,
listen,
it's the players' fault. They're the ones that are messing up, not us.
But my thing is, they could still do it. They could still find a way. Like, okay, fine. Say it's not Correa. Say it's not Correa. Say. But my thing is like, okay, say it's not Correa. Fine, it's not Correa. You get Story. Okay, say it's Story, Olsen, and you actually find a way to get Manaea back in that deal.
They could pass that as a very good offseason.
And then towards the end, maybe you make a trade for a catcher, or say you don't make a trade for the catcher, but you get Olsen and Manaea, you land Story as your shortstop, and you sign Seiya Suzuki. Listen, am I going to be upset? Am I going to be upset that it wasn't Correa? Yes, I will be. But I'm also going to be excited for 2022 because I'll say, listen, we upgraded shortstop. We got a great freaking first baseman. We got a box office pitcher behind Cole. And now we got this power hitting outfielder who we're about to see like what he can bring at the major league level. You know what? Fuck it. Let's go. I'm in.
Pete, you
but
and
if it's less than that, if it's anything less than that, yeah, bro, I'm out. I'm going to say it from day one. I'm going to be like, yo, I'm out on this season. I don't think they're winning. If they don't do these moves, I'm going to say it.
You cannot just do one move this offseason and call it, plus off. There's no way.
There's no one move. There's no one move.
Let's say hypothetically,
too many holes.
Said, we traded for Matt Olson. That's what we're going to do. And sign a bunch of depth players. That's not
enough. That's not enough.
It's not enough. You need to address all the holes because this is the offseason for that.
Listen,
there's
maybe
a lot of players.
No, go ahead.
There's no excuse for them not to solve shortstop, center field, pitcher rotation, catcher, and first base. No excuse whatsoever because they're out there. There's no excuse.
Listen,
no, there's too many options.
I'll put a ball.
There's too many options, like Pete said. There's options A through Z.
For me,
is it possible to fail this offseason? Sorry.
For me, this is where I put a bow on everything. And I'll just tell you a quick little story about last night, New Year's Eve. We all have kids, right? All of us have kids.
Yeah.
I thought about something last night. My son has my genes. He'll be 5 in a couple months. Kid would stay up till 4 a.m. if I didn't tell him it was bedtime, right? He stays up all night. He's just like me. So it's 11:30. Him and his older sister are awake, and I said I gotta open the champagne. So I said, buddy, you want to come outside with me real quick? It's like 70 degrees, December 31st. I said, I'm going to pop the champagne. But the champagne, someone bought it for us. I opened it. It didn't have a cork, right? It just had the twisty whatever bullshit.
Oh, man.
And I said, listen, buddy, I promise you, one day, if the Yankees win the World Series, I will have a bottle of champagne, and you can watch me pop the cork outside, and I will spray it all over the front yard, and we will be going crazy. And then in my head I said, if they fucking win a World Series in your lifetime, when I'm there.
Right.
And I thought about it, and I'm like, fuck. I don't feel optimistic right now about it. Maybe, probably it'll happen, right? But and then I was like, well, why am I such a diehard fan? I'm not saying I'm a bandwagon fan. I'm a fan because my dad was a fan, right? But if I didn't have the '90s dynasty into 2000,
that's right. That's
I
right.
don't know where my heart would be.
Me too.
Right? Those moments as fans are why we're the assholes sitting around talking about how much they don't care about us, but we still tune into every pitch. And if my son, if my daughters, if they don't get that, and this team continues down this path, they're not going to have, they'll still be fans, but they're not going to sit around and let their lives be ruined and be depressed for 3 weeks after they get eliminated from a wild card game.
Right.
Right. We're here. We're invested because they gave us something. They gave us something that we fucking want to taste again.
And we've held on to it. That's right.
And we've held on to it, right? That's how we grew up. And now we're watching an organization give us something that they didn't used to give us back then. They gave us fucking championships, right?
That's right.
So they might not feel it right now.
Nah,
but I'm telling you right now,
point.
when my kids get old enough, when your kids get old enough, if they continue down this path, that's when they're going to start feeling
That's
it.
when they're, and
they
that's
better
what I'm
fucking
saying.
change it right now.
Yeah.
Chris,
It's
that's
been
all I'm
12
saying.
years.
When I talk about the economics, that's all I'm saying.
It's a great point.
Listen,
That's it, man.
at some point, the roosters
flip.
come home
That's
to
right.
roost. And
Got
if
'em.
you don't take care of your shit, they're going to be going to Queens. As crazy as it sounds, I know that in 2022, it sounds crazy to a lot of you people because you're like, Yankees have been big brother forever. People aren't going to leave us. 27 world championships. How could you forget that? Yeah. Well, guess what? My son hasn't seen one of them.
Yep.
And if they resent us enough as dads, they'll go all the way to Boston.
Listen. You think I'm joking? Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
facts.
fighting a crazy battle in my house. My wife is a Red Sox fan. Okay.
Oh, man.
Oh,
So
no.
we
God
are
bless you.
like, listen, I am battling to get my kids on my side, but
Francis,
it's a tough battle.
you're already seeing fans saying, "Oh, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon on the Mets because they're gonna be fun to watch, not the Yankees."
Yeah, but to see those aren't fans that grew up during the dynasty like we did.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like,
no.
listen, my family, like we're all like entrenched in where we are. Like, so I grew up in the only household that were Yankee fans, right? The other rest of my family, half are Red Sox fans and half were Mets fans, right? At this point, we are all entrenched in where we're at, but where our kids go, they live in a different generation. We grew up in a generation where it's like, listen, son, this is our team. So yeah, they suck, but so what? Fuck it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still a Knicks fan. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, I'm still a Giants guy. At least I've seen the Giants win in my lifetime. I can't complain, right? But like, this is the generation we came up in. Our kids are coming up in a generation where it's not the same, bro.
It's not as cute.
I'm just like Chris.
They're gonna tell them that team is bullying you. Why are you?
Oh God, please. I watched my rant. The Aaron Boone rant the other day. I was crying.
He bullied him.
I was crying watching that thing, man. I got so mad.
Bullied you.
But look, no, this
I
is
lost so much respect for him after that.
bro. When I rewatched this, I tell you, my fiance. Shout out to my fiance, man. She went through all the videos of all year, put something together for us. But that was one of the videos, and there's one part in it you could see how deeply it hurt me that I'm such a Yankee fan. I said this no joke. I go, he disgraced the pinstripes. And it's like I wanted to cry. I'm like, how do you disgrace the Yankees uniform by saying you were bullied by an umpire?
How did you say that wearing a Yankee hat?
Can you imagine this? Like,
He should have
You
took
are
off
the
the
bully.
hat.
You
He
ever watch
should've took
Breaking
off the hat
Bad?
out.
When he gets in her face, he's like, "I am the one who knocks." Like, you're the fucking Yankees, bro. No one bullies you.
nobody
I don't care how
bullies you.
bad
Exactly.
you are.
That's my thing.
Yeah, but
You are the
that's-
fucking one who knocks, man.
Hey,
I'm just like
not
Chris.
to go
I'm just
down
like
another
Chris.
rabbit hole, but the Yankees have been getting bullied for years.
they have been. Yeah, that's true.
They've been getting bullied by. Listen, man, when Tampa Bay comes to the Bronx and fucking sweeps you in 3 games and then pisses on your grave, dancing and shit in front, dude, these ain't the Yankees we grew up
Nah.
with.
I got a couple of super chats to go through, guys, before we wrap this up. L.I. Yankee King says, guys, you get Carlos Correa. This lineup is still the easiest to run through in baseball with DJ, Correa, Stanton, Judge, Gallo. What are you talking about?
Get him out. Get him out. Get him out, please.
All right. Hey,
L.I.,
happy
come
New
on,
Year.
bro.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year,
fam.
Justin. Next.
We love you, man. We love you. Ruben, our good friend Ruben says, Boone managed well in 2019. 2018 was bad even with 100 games won. The year we lost so many games because of his bullpen management, you knew when they were throwing the game based on the reliever. He did a lot of bad calls towards the end of the year. And then Ruben also says, say it with me, stay away from the overpriced relievers. Yes, we all agree with that, I think. That is part of the problem. Francis, same situation here. My wife is a Red Sox fan.
Hey. Keep hope alive, bro. Keep hope alive. I know it's hard. It's been a rough couple of years.
Guys, just to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up, I just want to make a couple of announcements. A couple of things going to pop up here. There's the first one right there as it popped up throughout the video. Designated Spit is Sunday, which is tomorrow, 5 p.m. Want to make sure you guys certainly tune in for that. It is going to be a premiere, so I will likely be in the chat talking with you guys as we go. And then, of course, come Monday, if you like the guy you saw today, the NyynewST podcast, Monday at 7 p.m., Chris is right here. Christian cannot join us, and SGR cannot join us. Chris, you got to do me a favor. SGR is going to be on the first episode, right?
Yes.
We need some impressions, man.
Yo.
If he's up for it.
I'll get him lined up. He's got his Buck Showalter down
Oh,
good
man.
right now. It kind of fizzles into like Bill Clinton a little bit, but they do kind of sound alike. But
His Brian Cashman, if you close your eyes, it's impeccable.
Listen, I'm gonna tease something. I'm gonna tease something for you guys. In the next couple months, we're gonna have a new segment. It's gonna be called his SGR is his name's Ryan. So the segment's gonna be called Brian or Ryan, and it's gonna be a clip, and you're gonna have to guess if it's Brian Cashman saying it or SGR. That's how classic. Dead on. That's how dead on it is, though. Like, I can't even tell the difference. It's wild. It's wild.
It's nuts.
Terrific. But guys, I mean, this has been the first live for the new team. Of course, you got the 3 OGs of NY News and then Chris coming on. But man, oh man, guys, I am beyond excited about what NY News TV is going to do this year. I am literally beyond excited. No joke about it. Just for an example, me and Francis today, we recorded our podcast. It's going to air for you guys tomorrow. I'm sitting down and watching the entire thing when it airs. I mean, it was that damn good. No, I'm not just saying that. I'm not just saying that because we did it. It was our best episode. I truly believe that.
Agreed.
I think it was terrific. And I think Francis was a little hungover. I don't know.
Dude, 100%.
When you have a certain, like, going into this, right? We've been doing this for 5 years. We've had our show going, but we have a different level of like optimism right now and confidence that it's like, it kind of changes the way you go into it. And like I always said, playing, you look good, you fucking play good, right? Yeah. We look pretty damn good right now.
Hell yeah.
And those shows are coming out and they're going to be sounding good and looking good. And I just have no reason to feel anything but optimism.
Guys, and look, I am not the type to be cocky at all, to brag about anything. But look, we've put in so much hard work. Trust me, these guys know. RB and Francis knows more than anybody. Chris probably knows from early on of what I've been working on, what he's actually worked on. So those pop-ups you see, those are from Chris, guys. That's what this team is doing. Everybody is putting a hand on to make this the best team possible. That is 100% what we're doing. I'm telling you what, I'll say it right now. For Yankee news and coverage, this is the best team. There's nobody else.
There's no doubt.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, yeah.
We talked a little bit today. There is nobody else than this team. This is the best team by far to get legitimate news from. We're not beholden to the Yankees. We don't give two shits about how it sounds. We're just going to tell you our truth. Exactly. Just like that. And I know Christian's the same way. I mean, all you got to do is look at Sheffield's Twitter, and you know he's not the same way. So, I mean,
he don't care.
You know he don't care. I mean, that's just how we are, and that's how all of us are. One more announcement, because I didn't get to talk about it a lot. Nights at the Round Table will be every Thursday night at 9 o'clock. That will be starting on the 20th of this month. It's once a month for now. We'll see if we change that around. But guys, I'm telling you, man.
How many people do you have on that? Who do you do with that?
We typically we look for 5. We look for up to 5 people to get on that.
I would love to join that shit once in a while.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Of course, we'll love that. But it's every third Thursday.
Cool.
That's gonna happen, so everybody knows that. I like to just shout out a lot of what's coming up because I know Felix has his show coming out Thursday mornings. He's gonna have a segment on that show that you guys aren't gonna want to miss. I'm not gonna spoil it because you're not gonna. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll tell you guys offline. You're not going to want to spoil it. That show, you're not going to want to miss that. That's Thursday. That airs at 5 in the morning. I don't want to be wrong on the schedule, but I'm pretty certain that is Thursday. I got my.
It's definitely
here.
Thursday.
Thursday at 5 a.m.
He's Thursday mornings. Yeah.
Thursday at 5 a.m. You're not going to want to miss that. I'm telling you, the segment he has on it, you're not going to want to miss. And I'm also me and friends are working on a couple of big interviews that we hope to line up here shortly. So, I mean, by all means, guys, if you're not followed yet, follow this damn channel. Follow it. Support everybody in this room. Support all the podcasts. We're going to be supporting each other throughout the year. And we're going to be rooting on the Yankees to win. If they win this year, it's our reason. We did it.
Hell yeah.
It's because of us, okay?
It's not Brian Cashman. It's not Hal.
It's nobody
fucking
else.
NyynewsTV.
It's
for sure.
NyynewsTV.
We willed it. We willed that shit.
That's simple. That's simple. So, guys, anybody have any closing statements?
Yeah. I'll say this, okay? We talked about our fucking kids, right? Kids are the best because they're young, naive, innocent, whatever. That's us every fucking season, right? So I don't give a shit what happened last year. I don't care what happened the year before. I don't care what fucking happens this offseason. I'm going into this season saying the Yankees are winning a World Series in 2022, and until they don't, I'm believing that. Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking take this thing off, and let's keep going. Put our heads down. Nothing's stopping us. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right.
Let's do it.
Hope so.
Oh, we just got another. I'm sorry. I can't end if we keep getting super chats, guys. I got to answer. I love to join that if you are up for it. Tyler, we'll see about that. We probably will eventually get fans. And one thing we will do, I'll tell you this, guys, this right now. I have created a friggin' awesome intro for live in-games that are going to be terrifically fun. Then a really cool template, too, that's actually going to allow you guys to be part of the show via, like, voicemails and stuff like that. You could put your anger out there. If they have a bad game, we'll play it. We'll talk about all this.
I have technology too that we can go over in the upcoming months. I know we got a lot of shit we're trying to iron out, so we don't have to introduce it right away. But maybe we can be ready by the time like the season kicks off. I have technology that we can get live call-ins too.
Oh, that's what I need. That's what we need.
Everything. So
and I hope the trolls call in too. I like when the trolls call. Hey,
it's
Pete, you suck ass.
Like,
yeah, fuck your mother, you cocksucker.
Simonetti's a fraud.
It was tough. It was tough for us to like really take off with it because we only had 3 guys and we were all on the show.
Right.
But like we have enough guys where like if we're doing like a round table or something, one guy's just kind of the checking in, getting the phone calls, whatever. We could kill it. We'll definitely do live call-ins if that's what people want. I've seen a few people bring that up. So
we'll kill. Yeah, I got that a lot too. So we'll kill with that.
Eventually, we're gonna need an intern, right? So tell the fans.
We had a couple people that were going off to college a couple years ago. There was one kid doing graphic design. Put it on his resume that he worked with us for a few years.
I already got my daughter as my assistant. She wrote all my schedule for me and everything. I said, look, that'll be a job in the future for you. Let's do it.
Listen, NYY News is going to look great on her resume. Trust me, we got a lot of shit going on. And podcasting, make no mistake about it, that market is exploding.
It's huge.
Yep.
It's there.
It's exploding right now. So you want this on your res.
It's big bang.
This is only the beginning.
Oh, hell no doubt about it. I said it in the very first episode of Designated Spitters. We saw it again recently. I said flat out, this is just the start. I didn't know this is where it would be at. It's beyond my expectations. I didn't expect Chef. I didn't expect Chris and Christian. I was shocked when Chris hit me up. He knows it. I was like, oh yeah, I mean, we could make some. I was like, I'd love to have both of you guys. And he was like, hey, if we could do all this, and yeah, let's do it. And the twins, Twin Bill, I can't wait to see that. So
Twin Bill.
Yeah, everybody stay tuned, man. There's so much more coming. Again, I do just want to I like to plug what we have coming up so you guys know. Tomorrow, right there, you see it. Sunday, 5 p.m., Designated Spitters. There'll be a premiere Sunday at 5. And then I'll throw the next one up on here, too. We got, of course, the NyynewST podcast, what I am super excited about. I think everybody is. Right there, Monday, 7 p.m. If you like Chris.
We are going to start banging.
And that, too, right there. Yes, we're all going to start banging. That really got me out of nowhere. Wonderful way to end the show. So, guys, we're going to get to banging. And talk to everybody later. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the first episode.
Before it hits the front page.